WVLT News begins now with breaking news.
Thanks for joining us for WVLT News at 3:30. I'm Whitney Turner. Breaking news from Rocky Top. Head baseball coach Tony Vitello is leaving the university for what some are calling an opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to coach in the major leagues. Vitello is rumored to be front runner for the job over the past few days, and he becomes the first ever major league coach with no prior professional coaching experience. Vitello built the Vol baseball program into a powerhouse, winning the program's first ever national title, along with 5 straight super regional appearances and 52 players drafted in 8 seasons. Happening now, UT is holding a press conference on campus. Let's listen in.
Year. I'm going to work as fast as I can and get through this process and eliminate the uncertainty that our players are feeling right now as quickly as possible. We have a lot of talent here and expect to have an extremely competitive baseball team this spring. That's I think what I wanted to address today. Jason, I leave anything out in terms of logistics? Meet with the team later today, as I always do. I'll ask for them to vote on a leadership group. I'll meet with that group more in depth tomorrow. I want them to have a voice in this process, and we'll get started on our search as quickly as we possibly can. So with that, I'll open up to any questions. I know there's a lot out there. This has been a unique process in terms of how public it's been. There's been a whole lot of rumor mill going on, so I want y'all to ask me anything you want. I think you'll enjoy maybe some facts. Go ahead.
We'll start here on the right versus Brent, and then Mike.
Yeah, Danny, you characterize, or can you characterize the relationship you've had with Tony since you've been here, and what has the last 5 days been like from a communication standpoint with him as he went through this decision and you guys went through, kind of where he was with it?
Yeah, I mean, no different than any of our coaches. I think I have a great relationship with Tony. I don't work as closely with him as our sport administrator does. In this case, it was Tyler Johnson for the majority of his time here. But we do that. That's kind of how we're structured. But I do appreciate, obviously, what Tony built for our baseball program. But also, we also saw how invested he was to our athletic department and showing up at games and supporting our teams. And in terms of more recently, he's been proactive. I mean, this thing goes back a few weeks, and he's been good about and I appreciate how he's been proactive and keep me in the loop and informing me every step of the way.
Danny, there's been a lot of rumors about NIL allocations and baseball funds going toward women's basketball, things of that nature. Do you have any comment on that, and how have you approached the rev share and NIL across the athletics department? Yeah,
sure. First, I think we'd all should, anybody that's participated, where did that rumor come from? Anybody report that in here?
Not in here. So
who reported it? Like, somebody had to make up something that's not true for it to become a rumor, right? So I think we should all collectively apologize to Kim Caldwell and our women's basketball program, because that's factually incorrect. Never happened. Our rev share numbers are consistent with the House settlement, 5% for women's basketball, 15% for men's basketball, 75% for football, 5% for other. We, with that other bucket, which is $900,000, we distributed $750,000 to our baseball program. That is far from what we do for baseball or for any sport. Like all the most competitive programs in the country, we participated in front loading last spring. Baseball was a beneficiary of that. We are supporting baseball, I think at a higher level than anybody in America. We are full scholarships in baseball, all 34 spots. We were one of the first schools to sprint to that. I think we're the only school in the country that's also doing cost of attendance on top of that. That was about a $1.2 million new investment this year that a sport like women's basketball wouldn't have gotten. And we do more with rev share and with NIL packages for baseball on top of their rev share. So I know what the competitive space is in the SEC and across the country. I know our baseball program is extremely well equipped. Otherwise, we wouldn't be recruiting at the level we are.
Go to the left there.
Danny, 2 questions. In terms of the interim, why the move with Frank now instead of maybe Josh, who would step in when Tony was not present? And secondly, do you have a timeline? I know you said as soon as possible. Do you have a timeline for when you want this whole thing wrapped up, obviously over the course of the next couple weeks?
Yeah, a combination of factors. Frank's obviously been a head coach, but probably more importantly, as quickly as I'd like to move, I'd like Josh to be able to focus on his candidacy, and he's kind of in the middle of all this too. Up until this morning, the entire staff didn't know the decision that Tony was going to make, so he's been focused on recruiting and coaching his players. We have an incoming class. There's a lot going on, and I didn't want to throw this on him now, while also maybe treating an interview as an afterthought. I want to be able to focus on the interview process.
Have you had any communication with Josh or Frank before this morning, and what is your relationship with Josh like?
I don't make common practice of becoming chummy with our assistant coaches. I think that there's a chain of command that would be inappropriate to have social relationships with them. But for the first time last night, I visited with each of them individually and talked about this plan. At that point in time, it was a contingency plan. We didn't know the decision that Tony was going to make, but have had a chance again to visit with him more today and look forward to doing that more as we embark on the search process.
We'll go back to the right for Sprint.
There's been some talk, too, about roster size in this sport, what it can be in the spring, what some teams are right now. There's numbers 45, 44, 39, 34. What is the roster number, and where does Tennessee's roster number compare to its competitors at this point?
Our roster numbers have all changed with the House settlement post July 1, and they're consistent with our scholarship numbers now, which is a great thing for a sport like baseball. We used to be capped at 11.7 scholarships, and now there is no cap. So we have 34 roster spots and 34 full scholarships. With the first year and the designated student athlete opportunities, there's a chance to be somewhat flexible, but once we get out of the period with DSAs, there's going to be zero flexibility. So all of our coaches for all 20 sports were informed of what the roster numbers are over a year ago. And the expectation for all of our head coaches is to meet your roster spots, a part of the job. We have to be compliant with the House settlement, and we also have Title IX considerations. We have to balance our number of participants on rosters with men versus women across all of our sports. It has to be consistent with the student body across the campus, and then also the scholarship allocation from a grant and aid perspective. So there's roster numbers are important for every sport, but I think they're an easy thing to manage. We just need our coaches to hit their numbers.
You kind of referenced the time of year that this is taking place. How unorthodox is it to conduct a baseball coaching search in October? And then you also said this is a top 3 job. Does that make it easier, even despite it being maybe a different time of year?
We're going to find out. I'm going into this with open eyes. Like I've said to you guys before, and relative to coaching searches, interviews matter. I won't ultimately know what the right decision is till I go through that process and get an opportunity to compare candidates against each other and to hear from our student athletes, all that stuff. But I expect that even though it's a difficult time of year, I expect that there's going to be a ton of interest because of what Tony's built here, what we've all collectively built here, our players, our fans, our donors, everybody contributing to that awesome new facility that will open up this season.
Kind of on that note, and you touched on it a little bit, is there anything specific you're looking for in this coaching hire? Maybe recruiting, maybe hitting, pitching. Is there anything specific in terms of what your ideal candidate is, age, experience, anything like that?
Nothing specific. The first data point for me will be hearing more directly from that leadership group of the student athletes, what they're experiencing right now. A lot of times when you go into a coaching search, it's because there's the team isn't having the kind of success you want to have. So how do we make things better? But we're obviously 18 months removed from a national championship and just lost our coach to the big leagues for the first time in the history of college baseball. So we have a positive momentum and a good thing going, but I still want to hear their perspective and learn from that and then go into the process. But I don't have anything in particular in mind.
Maybe building off of that, you jokingly mentioned to Frank Anderson you're running a shepherd for the program. Is that also something that is a high priority for you and the next head coach?
Not necessarily. I think I use that term because, like, right now, the kids need to know who's the head coach. They need that. There's got to be somebody in charge. So in any kind of coaching transition, I'm always like, immediately we have to have an interim coach. That interim coach might be in that role for 4 days. It might be a lot longer than that. I don't know. But there's got to be, you got to fill that void. So that's where the term shepherd came from in my mind.
Go to the back left.
In your conversations with the players, what are you going to try to do to incentivize them to stay here at Tennessee rather than entering the transfer portal and going elsewhere?
I always, in every single transition, encourage the players not to let their emotions get the best of them, focus on their academics, focus on baseball right now. I'll be telling them some of the things I've told you. I'm going to work as fast as I can to try to eliminate that uncertainty for them as quickly as I can. And then I'll be asking them to give the new head coach and coaching staff, however that plays out. In this case, it might be something that's very familiar for them. It might be something that's different. I don't know. But ask them to assess what that looks like, really for their own best interests. They have a tremendous opportunity here at Tennessee, and like every student athlete we have here, if they choose to do something different, then that's their decision.
Any other questions? We'll start with Brendan and then back to Camille.
Will there be a search firm used in this? Is there anybody that you lean on, a former player who's in the sport, or has, to help you gain some further background on potential candidates out there? What resources do you use in this search besides yourself?
I'm using Parker Executive Search, who I've used for several coaching searches here, and they are already working on a plan on the logistics. I use them to help set up interviews. That they don't pick who we interview. I do that. I've been assessing. I'm always assessing the market for all of our sports, but I've been assessing, knowing this was a possibility for a while. What was your second question? Baseball.
Resources, baseball people, college baseball. Are there any resources that you use besides the search firm?
Yeah, I think in every search, I try to lean on people I trust in the sport that know more about it than I do. And I'll be looking for opportunities to do that here too.
Two-parter for you. First, what is your message to Vol Nation? Obviously, they are not happy that their national championship head coach is leaving for the big leagues. And then the second part of that, I know you've mentioned Frank, you've mentioned Josh as well. Do you expect Tony to take any of his staff with him, or what does that kind of look like?
I don't know. Tony and I haven't talked about that. We spoke earlier today. I'm not sure that he knows. He's probably trying to figure things out himself. I would venture to guess he probably doesn't know yet. So I think I visited with our entire staff earlier today and told them that we have every intention of making sure that they're in a good place and that they need to do what's best for their career. I get that, whether that's in San Francisco or here or somewhere else. But we're not going to leave anybody out in the cold. This is a staff that's done a lot for this university, and we'll make sure that they're in a good place. What was your question about the fans?
Just like, obviously they're not happy if the national championship coach has left. So what is your message to them moving forward?
I don't know that anybody's happy that Tony Vitello is not our coach anymore. We won a national championship and won a historic amount of games. But I also think that we should be happy for him. This is a decision that he made that is a pretty phenomenal accomplishment. So I go back to what I said at the beginning. I don't think this is a sad day. I think this is a proud day. It's a compliment to our program and what's been accomplished here, and it's certainly mostly a compliment to Tony.
Just going off everything you've said, you intend to have a head coach in place then for the 26th season, and there's not a plan to have Frank operate as interim through that whole season, correct?
I'm not putting myself in a box with anything right now. This is kind of unprecedented to have coaching transition this time of year. So I don't know how this plays out.
Anything else, question-wise? Danny, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, that was Athletics Director Danny White there. We are going to continue to follow all the latest developments for the Vols. After this historic announcement, we'll bring you any updates on air inside your WVLT News app. Stay with us. We're going to be right back.
At Casey's, we're...
Come on down to Hank's Car World, where we got the best prices in
on over to Gina's Car Corral.
Welcome. Why is Gina my laptop? Huh? What's going on there?
I present Amazon ads.
Randy, you are a genius. Drive into the future at Hank's Car World.
Can I get that,
Come on down to Hank's now.
Well done, little bro.
Gain the edge with Amazon ads.
At Tennessee State Bank, we keep everything local because that's where it matters most. From business loans and online banking to everyday checking accounts, our team is right here in East Tennessee. And when it comes to your business, don't fumble on game day. Our local merchant services rep is ready to step in at a moment's notice. No out-of-town call centers, no delays. We're proud to serve our neighbors, proud to keep it local, and proud to say, Go Vols!
Smoothies. This is the plan. Amazon ads. Gina's Car Corral.
Hey, look, it's Gina.
Come through, come on through. Come join the rodeo.
Well, congrats, sis. You won.
Gain the edge with Amazon ads.
Welcome back to WVLT News at 3:30. A Knox County Schools program is making sure your kids get to and from school safely. Transportation U is a bus driver training program created by the district. It's extensive to make sure new drivers are prepared to keep your kids safe. The training program's free, which is helping recruit more drivers. This as school districts nationwide are facing shortages. KCS says more well-trained drivers means more reliable transportation for your students. We're taking a deeper dive into this issue and how it impacts your family tonight. Meanwhile, the family of a murdered child wants you to help mark the 1-year anniversary of her murder with a day of grace. 13-year-old Savannah Copeland was stabbed to death on a dirt path in the Broadacres neighborhood a year ago today. The suspect in her killing is a 15-year-old boy who is still awaiting trial. Her death prompted the state passage of the Savannah Grace Copeland Act, which increases funding for child advocacy centers. And tonight, her family is hosting a special service at Powell Church at 6 o'clock. The family says this will be a day of grace, showing the love and compassion of East Tennessee. And a hectic start to the morning at Cedar Bluff Elementary School. It was evacuated after what the school system calls a verbal threat. Authorities are not releasing details as they investigate, but Knox County authorities checked the school and said it was safe for children to return to class.
And we're going to be talking about some cold air that's settling in and frosty at times. Up next.
At Tennessee State Bank, we keep everything local because that's where it matters most. From business loans and online banking to everyday checking accounts, our team is right here in East Tennessee. And when it comes to your business, don't fumble on game day. Our local merchant services rep is ready to step in at a moment's notice. No out-of-town call centers, no delays. We're proud to serve our neighbors, proud to keep it local, and proud to say,
Go Vols!
Come on down to Hank's Car World, where we got the best prices in
on
town.
over to Gina's Car Corral. Welcome.
Why is Gina my laptop? Huh? What's going on there?
I present Amazon ads.
Randy, you are a genius. Drive into the future at Hank's Car World.
Can I get that,
Come on down to Hank's now.
Well done, little bro.
Gain the edge with Amazon ads.
Smoothies. This is the plan. Amazon ads. Ooh. Gina's Car Corral.
Hey, look, it's Gina.
Come through, come on through. Come join the rodeo.
Well, congrats, sis. You won.
Gain the edge with Amazon ads.
Your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Kyle Granger.
Hope you've had a great day on this Wednesday. Yes, we've seen the sunshine all day long. Those clear conditions are going to really allow for our temperatures to drop tonight, and some of you could be dealing with some patches of frost. Look at how clear and beautiful that sky is. The camera shaking at times because the wind speeds have been up this afternoon. Look at this. Knoxville at 17 miles per hour. Morristown to Crossville 13 to 12. I expect this to last right on through the rest of the evening hours. Temperature-wise, 65 in Knoxville to 66 for Oak Ridge, 61 Townsend. Good afternoon and evening to you in Dandridge at 66, Crossville at 60. Your First Alert forecast for the rest of the day on this Wednesday. Maybe you're taking the bicycle out for a ride. 63, lots of sunshine, but by 8 o'clock, yes, we'll want the jacket at 54. Then overnight tonight, waking up tomorrow morning in Knoxville at 40, but some of the outlying communities, say like Kingston, up into Hawkins County, you could be more like 35 by the time we wake up on our Thursday morning. But by 10, we warm quickly with the sun once again, up to 49. 67 for a mild afternoon. I think we get to around 68. And then we're at 57 to 50 by the 8 and 11 o'clock hours on your Thursday. Now, the next big weather maker really kicks into high gear late in the day on Sunday. I think we squeeze by most of our weekend dry. We will have rain starting to settle in 6 o'clock in the evening, and then this continues to filter in during the overnight hours and is with us for the start of our Monday. But then by the time Monday evening starts to roll around, we're starting to see this taper off and dry out a bit. So most of the weekend stays dry. We're very close to 70 for those afternoon highs, and then that rolls right on into next week with some mid-60s. And then the cool down happens once again. The next shot of opportunities comes on Thursday with 59 for a high.
Smoothies.
This is the plan. Amazon ads.
Gina's Car Corral.
Hey, look, it's Gina.
Come through, come on through. Come join the rodeo.
Well, congrats, sis. You won.
Gain the edge with Amazon ads.
Come on down to Hank's Car World, where we got the best prices in
On
town.
over to Gina's Car Corral. Welcome.
Why is Gina my laptop? Huh? What's going on there?
I present Amazon ads.
Randy, you are a genius. Drive into the future at Hank's Car World.
Can I get that,
Come on down to Hank's now.
Well done, little bro.
Gain the edge with Amazon ads.
Our top story, UT head baseball coach Tony Vitello is going to the major leagues. He is leaving Rocky Top for San Francisco and the opportunity of a lifetime with the Giants. We've got more details next on WVLT News at 4.
And we are looking at 66 now. West-southwest winds at 14 miles per hour will be continuing. If you are traveling on your Thursday, it's all clear across the southeast.
All right, Kyle, looking good. Stick around with us. We've got more on this breaking news coming up in just a few minutes.
Smoothies.
This is the plan. Amazon ads.
Gina's Car Corral.
Hey, look, it's Gina.
Come through, come on through. Come join the rodeo.
Well, congrats, sis. You won.
Gain the edge with Amazon ads.
race.
WVLT News begins now with breaking news.
Thanks for joining us for WVLT News at 4 o'clock. I'm Whitney Turner. We continue our coverage on the massive breaking news out of UT today. The university says Tony Vitello is leaving to take a job in San Francisco. Vitello was hired back in 2017 and turned Tennessee baseball into a powerhouse. Along with bringing in the first ever national title in program history, he won 2 SEC regular season titles and 2 SEC tournament championships. Just moments ago, UT Athletics Director Danny White held a press conference on campus saying pitching coach Frank Anderson will be the interim.
In my mind, this is not a sad day. It's a proud day. Congratulations to Tony. This is something that's never been accomplished before. So I think it's a testament to obviously Tony, but everybody that's ever played for him, coached for him, our fans that have supported the program. We've had an unprecedented run of success the last 4 or 5 years, and what he has built is absolutely phenomenal. I was looking at the numbers. When Tony first got here, our budget was $3.5 million. It's $14 million today.
Vitello was rumored for the head coaching gig in San Francisco over the past few days. He now becomes the first ever college coach to take an MLB job without any prior professional experience. And our team coverage begins with Jared Austin live on UT's campus this afternoon. Jared, you've spoken with several Vol fans. What are they saying?
Kind of the same thing as athletic director Danny White is saying. It's, yes, a sad day to see head coach Tony Vitello leaving Rocky Top, but it's a really good thing for him. He's taking an unprecedented jump going from college baseball to the MLB. I got out here, went out to Lindsey Nelson, spoke with a couple of fans out there, all kind of sharing that same thing. They're like, man, it sucks. Tony has built something from the ground up here at Tennessee baseball. Just seeing them win the national championship from where they were just right before Tony Vitello started his career here. It's really amazing. Yes, they are sad to see him go, but he is going to be a manager in the major leagues. It's the highest level you can get to in professional baseball. Spoke to fans yesterday as well, out here as well. They were just super excited to potentially see him go to that point. Yes, again, sad, but super excited to see him get there. Hopefully he's going to be good. But spoke to some fans today. Here's what they have to say.
Obviously, that's a blow for the Tennessee baseball program. You hate to see it, but you know, I still have high hopes for the whole program. Like, it's not like the whole thing will go crashing down. Like, we still have great players and great staff. So, although it's a blow, like I think we'll land on our feet.
Grateful for everything he's done for the program. Hopefully, don't lose too many recruits, but still hopeful. Got the #1 recruiting class this year, so looking forward to a good season.
I mean, we had it on the back of our frat house. We had a "Please Don't Leave" Tony sign. I mean, man, he's given a lot to the program. I guess it's just a big thank you, man.
He has given a lot to this program, but this program is still in capable hands as the interim coach, Frank Anderson. He's the coach here. Going to be the interim coach. He's been here with Coach Vitello. We did also ask athletic director Danny White specifically about keeping people on Rocky Top that are on the baseball team. He said we just got to be proactive with this, figure out who it's going to be leading us forward, and we'll try to keep as many guys as possible, but they do know Tony has built something here. They just want to keep everything that's still here on Rocky Top. Whitney.
All right, Jared, thank you so much. Bittersweet moment. And our team coverage continues with our sports director, Rick Rosso, joined by a special guest in studio this afternoon.
Hey, Whitney, thanks, and good afternoon, everybody. Yes, the news continues to just blow our minds that Tony Vitello will not be here for a 9th season, going to the major leagues. With me is Jared Dickey, VFL standout, played in the College World Series, part of some great teams at Tennessee. Before we move forward and talk about Tony, what about yourself right now? What are you up to? Drafted by the Royals, but you've moved on, right?
Yes, correct. I was drafted in 2023 by the Royals, and then in the middle of my first full season, I got traded to the Athletics, and have been with them for a little over a year now, and just finished my last season in AA.
Oh, congratulations and all the best to you moving forward. So you know a thing or two right now about pro baseball. Your initial thoughts right now about what's happened here with Tony going to some unprecedented, has never happened. What about Tony now stepping up and going to the majors?
It's awesome. I'm extremely excited for him because, like you said, it's never been done before. But if anybody can do it, it's him. His coaching style is so fiery, and just he's going to be able to adapt to whatever is thrown at him. So I'm very excited for him to see how he succeeds.
As we take a look at some video now of you in the orange and white, what was it like playing for Tony Vitello? And look at that swing, by the way.
Oh, man. Oh, not that one, not that one. But it was just such a dream. My freshman year, I came in and I was a little out of shape, and he was very, very nice to me and gave me a chance to stick it out and get in better shape, and he helped me become the player that I was here and now what I'm doing in pro ball. So I'm very thankful for him, and I'm forever indebted to that program.
No doubt about that, and it's that program that you and your fellow players helped put on the map. Tennessee baseball was searching for some answers before Tony got to town, and you guys really took it to another level. All the love and admiration from the fans, that had to have been wonderful to be a part of.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just the amount of support that we got from just my first year here to my last year here, you could really tell a difference on just what Tony's built. I remember, I think it was the first series that I ever saw was in 2018. It was after I had committed and they were playing Maryland. It was opening day. Yeah. And I looked around and there was nobody in the stands. And now you go to a game and you look in the stands and the entire place is full. So he's just built a culture here that's very special.
Yeah, Tony, no doubt the driving force of that $100 million plus project to make that stadium, Lindsey Nelson Stadium, really first class in the country. Your thoughts on that stadium, and I guess the fact now that Tony won't be there to be a part of it.
I know. I get to thankfully work out there in the mornings, and every time I walk in, I look at it and I just think, wow, it's pretty crazy what we've built here.
All right, speaking of what we've built and moving forward, certainly a big part of that has been Josh Elander. We heard Danny White say earlier today, not too long ago, in the press conference that Josh Elander will be a candidate, but he's also opening it up to a national search. Your thoughts on Coach Elander? I got a feeling you'd love to see him ascended to that position.
Absolutely right. I mean, he's been the glue over to that program. He's an extremely good recruiter and just an even better person, honestly. He just helps the hitters in every aspect, and he just does really good things. So I think if he gets the opportunity, he's gonna take it and run with it.
All right, real quick here. We don't have much time, but whoever takes over, you don't see this program taking a step back, right? Because of what's been built, because of guys like you and Coach Vitello, I think the sky's the limit still for this Tennessee baseball program, right?
Absolutely. Tennessee is going to be on the map in baseball for the rest of its lifetime, I'd say.
Jared Dickey, VFL standout, thanks for coming in, brother.
Absolutely.
All the best to you in pro ball. And Whitney, we're going to send it right back to you at the news desk.
All right, Rick, thank you so much. We, of course, are going to continue to follow this developing news as the night goes on with updates right here on WVLT. Rick, thank you so much.
You bet.
Well, right now, we do want to let you know about a boil water notice in effect for some in Loudon. Loudon Utilities says its water system was shut down today due to a large main break in the system. They say a system failure like this carries high potential of contamination that could enter the distribution system. Several streets, including Butler Drive, Huffs Ferry Road, and Riverview Golf Drive, are impacted by this. We have the full list of affected areas inside the WVLT News app. If you live on one of these streets, Loudon Utilities advises you need to boil your water for at least 3 minutes before drinking it or using it for food preparation. The boiling kills bacteria and other organisms in the water. A Knox County Schools program is making sure your kids get to and from school safely. Our Lexi Lepoff is joining us now. Lexi, this is also helping attract more bus drivers to the county.
Yeah, Whitney, we've told you about a bus driver shortage impacting school districts nationwide. The issue brings challenges you may have dealt with yourself, like unreliable service with longer wait times for drop-off and pickup. Knox County Schools is trying to avoid that with a program to attract and retain high-quality drivers. Transportation U is a bus driver training program created by Knox County Schools. It's an extensive program requiring a minimum of 60 hours of training in a classroom and behind the wheel. The biggest attraction is it's completely free. The safety and training manager for the district says it would usually be a multi-$1,000 training program, incentivizing people to choose Knox County Schools so your kids have reliable drivers.
This is constantly building up their skills, giving them new knowledge, giving them new areas to work on. We have some of the most highly trained drivers on the road. Our school bus drivers have more certifications than most other drivers that you'll ever see.
They tell me this program goes far beyond what is required from the federal and state level, making sure drivers are prepared to keep your child safe during the day-to-day and during any emergency situation. Aside from the training itself, there's also a focus on professional development to make drivers more likely to stick around. High turnover rates is one of the biggest challenges year to year for districts. KCS says more well-trained drivers means more reliable and safe transportation for your students. Whitney?
Certainly means more happy parents too. Lexi, thank you so much. We do want to get a check of your first alert forecast with meteorologist Kyle Granger on this beautiful fall day.
Yeah, the sunshine has been out. We've had clear skies across the board. I was sitting at lunch looking out of the window just enjoying all of this. People kept saying, is it cold there in Tennessee? Well, it's not necessarily cold. It's cool, and it's a cool afternoon and nice and warm at parts. Look at the winds, though, that have been stirring around 14, 15 miles per hour across the board from Knoxville to Athens, Morristown, into Crossville. And I expect this to last for the rest of the evening. So just kind of look at those garden flags and check the flags out that are flying around town. 66 in Knoxville right now to 68 Sevierville, 62 Townsend, 65 Kingston, 61 Crossville, the 63 in Williamsburg, and across the southeast, all is nice, quiet, clear, and calm from Raleigh to Charleston, Atlanta, Knoxville, Nashville, Memphis, and Jackson, all doing pretty nice here for the rest of the evening. So we go from 65 now. Once the sun sets, we get that temperature falling down into the 50s, and eventually, by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, we're talking about some 40s, and some of you could be looking at the frost potential. So we're going to take a look at who could have that coming up in just a few minutes.
Kyle, thank you so much. Getting a check of your first alert traffic right now. Following a slowdown in the usual spot, I-40 mixing with the 640. Here's a live look there. You are moving, but slowly. That eastbound side is cruising right by you. Taking a look at the area, that delay stretches from around the Alcoa Highway exit out toward Paper Mill there. Overall, you're doing okay around Knoxville, 75 to 75, 640 running on time there. West Knox seeing the usual issues on I-40 east and west, right around Pellissippi Parkway there. The main delay, I-40 east as you're passing the Parkway. The Parkway looks good, so does Alcoa Highway, certainly good news. The 40-75 split, no issues, as well as I-75 up into Anderson County. You are seeing delays in Sevier County on the Parkway in that usual spot. We're going to keep a close eye on your first alert traffic. Well, Hurricane Helene struck Cocke County more than a year ago, but those impacts are still being felt across the county. That includes a significant drop seen in whitewater rafting visits. Our Sade Ray takes a look into the lasting effects of the storm.
Each season, thousands of people come to the Pigeon River for some rafting fun, but experts say this season lost more than 40,000 visitors. They say there's several reasons to consider how Hurricane Helene slowed those numbers. The 2025 rafting season was slower compared to past seasons. New data from Cocke County Clerk shows this season is ending with more than 30,000 visits versus more than 170,000 visits last year. Daniel Jeanette is the president of Pigeon River Outfitters Association. He says Hurricane Helene closed parts of the interstate, changed the river, and closed a major put-in for rafters.
We're working with Cocke County to get the first mile built back so that we can access our original put-in, because we did have one less mile of river this year. And it was still a great ride, still a lot of fun, but we want that first mile back.
The goal is to have that put-in open for the next season. Jeanette says leaders are working to improve the river and messaging to draw more crowds. Jeanette says that's because visitors weren't sure if rafting was open this year. While this season ended in a drop, Jeanette is still hopeful for next season. He says county leaders and outfitters are looking for ways to bring visitors back. In Hartford, Sade Ray, WVLT News.
Coming up at 5 o'clock, we're going to take a closer look at how those lower numbers are impacting Cocke County and what's being done to attract tourists. And a popular spot on the Tennessee River was overrun by invasive plants until these landscapers came in to help out. How they were chosen for the job.
Look at those winds whipping around this afternoon. We'll talk about the frosty conditions for some up next.
Food. It's our thing. Nobody does food like Food City. This week, save on chicken breast tenders, Ritter Yukon Gold potatoes, Green Mountain or McCafe coffee, and more.
Salsaritas has been the local favorite in East Tennessee for over 20 years. Enhance your game day experience with the Salsaritas Fiesta Pack. Feed all your family and friends the tacos and chips they crave.
This is living proof that there can be life beyond cancer. At Baptist Health, we've treated more patients with breast, colon, and lung cancer than any other health system in Kentucky and southern Indiana. Early detection can help lead to better outcomes. To find out more about our cancer risk assessments and early screening options, visit baptisthealth.com/cancercare.
Let better than bouillon magic begin when you scoop a spoonful and stir it in. Breakfast casseroles and green beans with flair, prime rib or deviled eggs to share. Because everything is better with Better Than Bouillon. Let better than bouillon magic begin when you scoop a spoonful and stir it in. Chicken noodle, creamy rice, and more. Beef stir fry or fettuccine to adore. Because everything is better with Better Than Bouillon.
This is living proof that there can be life beyond cancer. At Baptist Health, we've treated more patients with breast, colon, and lung cancer than any other health system in Kentucky and southern Indiana. Early detection can help lead to better outcomes. To find out more about our cancer risk assessments and early screening options, visit baptisthealth.com/cancercare.
Let better than bouillon magic begin when you scoop a spoonful and stir it in. Breakfast casseroles and green beans with flair, prime rib or deviled eggs to share. Because everything is better with Better Than Bouillon. Let better than bouillon magic begin when you scoop a spoonful and stir it in. Chicken noodle, creamy rice, and more. Beef stir fry or fettuccine to adore. Because everything is better with Better Than Bouillon.
On the CW.
In Chattanooga, a popular camping ground was overrun by vegetation and desperately needed a trimming. As Dave Malkoff reports, the search for a landscaper led to the greatest of all time.
We are in beautiful downtown Chattanooga on the Tennessee River. We're about to go on to McClellan Island.
For locals, beautiful McClellan Island is just a canoe ride away, but there's a problem. It's overgrown with invasive plants. The Audubon Society has tried to cut down honeysuckle and English ivy, but it grew back. The fire department tried to burn the waxy leaves last year, but they just smoldered.
The fire chief recommended that we get goats.
Goat lady Christina Herndon, who runs a nearby petting zoo, found the crew.
Yep, that's Gimli, Alora, Glenn, and Dixie.
These workers never take a lunch break. Their entire day is lunch. 4 goats on the island will eat anything, even poison ivy in this penned-off acre. To get a better look, we strapped a camera, let's call it a Goat Pro, on Gimli.
It's a win-win.
And locals have already noticed the difference.
What's the difference between the island when you were younger and the island today? Does it look the same?
It looks a lot more tame. It really does, yes.
Tamed by a wild crew with sharp horns and iron stomachs. Dave Malkoff, CBS News, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Your First Alert Forecast with meteorologist Kyle Granger.
Hello, my friends. It is a Wednesday afternoon with lots of sunshine across the board, no doubt in your neighborhood and across all of East Tennessee. Look at the camera in downtown Knoxville. Been shaking just a little bit because those winds are stirring around just a bit. You see here how they're kind of blowing in from the southwest and looking at 14 miles per hour in Knoxville to Monticello. Athens is a little calmer at 8. Meanwhile, Morristown and Crossville both checking in with the 16 to 15 miles per hour with those winds. Now we're at 61 in Crossville to 68 in Knoxville, 62 Townsend to 67 Dandridge, Maynardville. Once the sun sets tonight, you're going to notice a big difference because we've got that clear sky that allows all of our heating of the day to go right on back up into outer space, and that's the story across much of the southeast today. So first alert weather for the rest of this evening. Lots of sunshine at 6 o'clock, but again, we get back into that sunset, and by 8 o'clock, we're at 54. So a quick dip in the temperature tonight as the sunshine leads to the stars that are with us for the rest of our Wednesday. 40 is where we wake up to in Knoxville tomorrow, but outlying communities, it's not out of the question we could be closer to 35 in places like Kingston or maybe up into Hawkins County. Waking up tomorrow with frost a possibility. Let's look at some of the numbers here. 40 in Knoxville, 38 for Clinton, Kingston at 34. How about 38 for Crossville? 36 for Madisonville, and here's what I was talking about. Look at Harlan County at 32, Rogersville waking up at 31. On your Thursday morning, we repeat this situation as we go into our Friday as well. So for the afternoon on Thursday, once again, back up into the 60s, around 68 in Knoxville to Kingston, 70 for Athens, and some 62s on the map as well. So from the 40s at 10, 57 is back with us at 8 o'clock tomorrow night after that sunset and dipping of the temperature. And of course, the stars and clouds with us at 11 o'clock. Another clear day coming up on your Friday, but it is going to be on the cool side to start, warm to finish, and maybe just a few passing clouds about all we're going to be able to muster. The next big weather maker has a lot of clouds with it. In fact, we've bumped up those rain coverages from that 30 we had this morning up to about a 40% just because of this widespread heavy downpour rainfall that comes through during the evening hours of Sunday. Now, I think most of Sunday for us is relatively dry, but this could speed up, and then we get into Monday looking at some rainfall for the morning hours. We'll make some progress to clear things out in the afternoon as the rain moves on off into western North Carolina. So here's that 8-day planning forecast for you. For the rest of this week, we're going to sit into the 60s, close to 70, right on through the weekend. We do have rain opportunities with us for the early part of next week, as I said, and pulling those numbers down as we head into Thursday.
WVLT.
This is living proof that there can be life beyond cancer. At Baptist Health, we've treated more patients with breast, colon, and lung cancer than any other health system in Kentucky and southern Indiana. Early detection can help lead to better outcomes. To find out more about our cancer risk assessments and early screening options, visit baptisthealth.com/cancercare. This is living proof that cancer doesn't have to be the end, and that there is always hope. At Baptist Health, we've treated more breast, colon, and lung cancer patients than any other health system in Kentucky and southern Indiana. To find out more about our cancer risk assessments and early screening options, visit baptisthealth.com/cancercare.
T-News.
Dollywood Days for Sevier County residents are just around the corner. Starting November 1st, anyone who lives or works in Sevier County can visit the park's Smoky Mountain Christmas for just a $5 donation. The money will go to Sevier County nonprofits. The discount runs through November 9th. We've got all the details if you're interested in the As Seen On section of your WVLT News app. And there's a new attraction in Sevier County. Now you can dig into the unknown at Ripley's Illusion Lab. The new attraction is located off the Parkway at the Old Pigeon Forge Welcome Center. Ripley says the Illusion Lab gives you the chance to switch up your perspective, challenge your senses, and spark your curiosity through optical, photographic, and interactive illusions. Tickets start about $20 for adults, kids 3 years old up to 11. Tickets are $13. The Knoxville Ice Bear season is officially underway. We are getting to know some of this year's players. Our John Sartori sits down with Carson Vance.
We're getting to know your 2025-2026 Knoxville Ice Bears. Carson Vance, Arizona native. Now, hockey's not even your best sport.
That's right.
You are a cornhole champion with your brother.
Yep.
How does that happen?
So our parents got into it about 10 years ago. Mom's like,
this is a family business.
It's a family. I'm the worst in the family.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what goes into being a great cornholer?
Just practice.
Yeah.
Practice and practice. You got to get a good rotation on the bag. This year we felt bad. We rinsed everyone. Wow. We went through it like we had to throw off. We were sandbagging, as we would say it.
In the sport.
Yeah.
Right.
So we took home that first place.
Carson Vance from Arizona, Hockey Town. It's getting to know your Ice Bears.
Hockey Town, you heard it from John. You can watch that full interview inside your WVLT News app, along with all of John's interviews with the players. Well, we've got more breaking news coverage as Tony Vitello is officially leaving Rocky Top, heading to San Francisco to become the Giants' new manager. Coming up, we're taking a look back at his journey here at UT. Thanks for joining us for WVLT News at 4:30. I'm Whitney Turner. We are still following the historic move today for Tony Vitello. He's leaving the University of Tennessee to become the manager of the San Francisco Giants in the big leagues. Vitello is the first college coach to make the jump to the MLB with no prior experience. He was a fan favorite on Rocky Top and helped push Tennessee's baseball program to one of the best in the country, especially after winning the national championship in 2024. Now let's take a look back on his time here in Knoxville. Our Rick Russo shows us his Rocky Top resume.
Welcome the new head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers, Anthony Gregory Vitello.
Without a doubt, a breath of fresh air for a Tennessee baseball program which had been searching for answers. But on June 7th, 2017, Tony Vitello would arrive in town and begin answering those questions. And it wouldn't take long for Tony to start securing SEC titles and College World Series appearances. Vitello would lead the program to a top 25 ranking in his first year. And in his second season, its first 40-win season since 2005. He would reach 300 career wins faster than any other coach in program history and add multiple National Coach of the Year honors during his tenure here on Rocky Top. Tony would instantly become a fan favorite and was quick to always engage and praise the UT fan base. He was also terrific at recruiting and developing the players. In fact, Vitello and his staff developed 10 first-round picks during his time at Tennessee.
It's one thing to recruit and get him there, and now you got to coach him and develop them, and that's what he's committed to. So, look, it's hard to build a program now in college sports, I think, but Tony Vitello really has built a program, and he'll keep that program because of his personality.
Tony's teams won 2 SEC regular season and 2 SEC tournament championships. His squad made 6 consecutive NCAA tournaments between 2018 and 2025, only missing out in 2020 due to the pandemic. Under Vitello, the Volunteers made 3 College World Series appearances in 2021, 2023, and then it would all come to a head during the summer of 2024 when over a 2-week period, the Vitello-led Vols fought their hearts out, leaving Omaha with the program's first ever national championship.
First team to 60, I think. Yeah. My favorite thing is it's the closest team I've ever been around, with all due respect to everybody else, and that's what I want. That to me is a championship. Great to see my dad, because it reflected on how hard it is to play this game and to stick through it, and I'm glad I did, because if I wouldn't have done it as a player, which there were many days I thought about quitting, then I never would have got the opportunity as a coach.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind. I've been invited to some things I never thought I would ever be a part of, and I've been able to meet some people that are really special to me. Just recently, when I went back to St. Louis, getting to stand next to Ozzie Smith, who I hope everyone knows. I quiz our players.
I'm not going to flip like Ozzie, but yes.
Yeah, but being next to the Wizard and enjoying conversations about our team, it's pretty amazing how many people were captivated by that group and their energy and their vibe last year.
That was our Rick Russo reporting. We have so much more team coverage on Tony Vitello's departure at UT ahead on WVLT News. You can watch our coverage now inside the WVLT News app as well and get the latest updates there. But we're going to keep you updated right here on air too. We want to get a check of your first alert forecast with meteorologist Kyle Granger. A beautiful fall afternoon, but I know you're tracking some frost for us.
Yeah, we do have some frost potential that will be with us, especially in places like the higher elevations as we go into our Thursday morning. Hope you've had a great day. If you're just getting in, welcome home. Look at the views from the Smoky Mountains here this afternoon. Of course, looking across Look Rock, that drive over the Foothills Parkway would be absolutely beautiful this afternoon. 68 in Oak Ridge right now, as well as the North City. About 66 Knoxville out by the airport, 65 Strawberry Plains, 68 Sevierville, 65 in Wares Valley and Townsend. Good afternoon to Debbie, who I met yesterday out in Townsend, checking in this afternoon in the 60s as well. 65 for the 6 o'clock hour, and then the sun sets and we're down back into the 50s, eventually the 40s by the time you wake up tomorrow morning. Look at that clear sky that's with us overnight tonight, and that allows us to get close to 40 in Knoxville, but we're in the mid 30s for other areas. So a cool evening is ahead for us. We've got some frost and freeze alerts that we have to share with you, and of course an increased rain threat, which leads into parts of next week. Coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Kyle, thank you so much. Getting a check for your first alert traffic now. We're following the end of a crash here. This is on I-40 West, right around Middlebrook Pike, around downtown Knoxville. The westbound right shoulder is blocked. Looks like TDOT is trying to clear that for us. So still slow going in this area, but that is a usual slowdown point for us as you mix with that 640 traffic heading around toward the paper mill exit. So taking a look overall around Knoxville, starting to slow down on 640 east onto 75 north. The typical delay on Broadway through Fountain City. No issues on 275 or 640 there. I-40 looking mostly good until you get to West Knox, where you're seeing the delays on both sides of the interstate around Pellissippi Parkway, but no lanes are blocked. Certainly some good news if you're heading out the door. Pellissippi Parkway running on time along with Alcoa Highway, following some slow spots in Sevier County, but no incidents there. We're keeping a close eye on your first alert traffic. New details: domestic violence is a silent struggle for many, but how do you stop it? Patsy Montesinos explains how a new Tennessee law hopes to encourage these conversations.
Hi, Amy. A trip to the salon.
Good to see you.
You too. Isn't just about a new look. Sometimes it's about washing away the weight of the day.
So I've seen and heard everything behind the chair.
Susan Shepard knows this well. For 30 years, she's been a trusted listener.
I've had clients open up to me about their own abusive relationships.
Chairman Whitson. That's why in 2021, she championed a Tennessee law requiring all beauty professionals to learn how to recognize the signs of abuse and how to respond.
Knowing that at least 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men will experience abuse means that every day a stylist behind the chair might see many people, several people, that might be the ones to need that resource.
More than 71,000 professionals have now taken the free 20-minute training. The clock, though, is ticking. Complete it by December 31st or lose your license.
I know that it's saving lives.
Shepard has lived this reality. She survived an abusive marriage herself.
I know how important that person in my life was, who knew what I was going through wasn't just a bad relationship, but rather an abusive one.
And she stresses those warning signs aren't always visible.
Non-physical signs that we're in a unique position to see. There might be signs of isolation, maybe pulling away from some of their closest family or friends. They might seem a little withdrawn or have more cancellations.
That's why she partnered with the YWCA and the state's Department of Commerce and Insurance to teach beauty pros how to handle these difficult conversations and connect clients to safety.
They're on the front lines. They see and hear things that most folks do not.
Hoping to create awareness that reaches far beyond the chair.
Being able to reach my kids' generation with awareness would be so impactful, to be able to curb the numbers, see a real shift in Tennessee.
Right now, a new measles outbreak is being reported in the Southwest. One county in Arizona has 80 cases. The area did not experience any cases over the 2 years prior. 43 cases are reported just over the border in Utah. In 2025, 92% of U.S. measles cases have been in people who are unvaccinated or their status is unknown. Symptoms include high fever, cough, a runny nose, red eyes, a rash, and as infectious disease expert Dr. William Schaffner says, it can quickly turn dangerous, especially for kids. Now, more than half of the measles cases this year are in children and teens under 20. The CDC says the 2-dose regimen against measles is 97% effective. The disease was declared eradicated from the U.S. 25 years ago. One doctor says rising cases have put that status at risk. It's day 22 of the government shutdown, and it's now the second longest in history. The Senate is expected to vote again today for the 12th time on the spending bill that would reopen the government, but both sides still remain at odds. We'll keep you updated if anything changes. And we're showcasing job opportunities in East Tennessee. Coming up tomorrow, you can learn about careers in behavioral health and human services. The McNabb Center is hosting a drop-in hiring event at their location at the Knox County Administration Building tomorrow. It's from 9 a.m. to 1 o'clock. You can speak directly with hiring managers and program staff about roles serving Knox, Anderson, and Blount counties. No RSVP is needed, but you are encouraged to bring your resume and be ready for on-site interviews as well. You can learn more about this event by scanning the QR code now on your screen. You can also submit a request to feature positions at your business on our air. Whether you're looking for a new job or you're hoping to find the right person for your company, WVLT News has you covered. They're creepy and they're crawly. And next we are exploring the spiders that you can see at Zoo Knoxville in this week's Wild Inside.
And the winds are up for us this afternoon, and we've got a cold start to Thursday, which we'll time out for you up next.
Food. It's our thing. Nobody does food like Food City. This week, save on chicken breast tenders, Ritter Yukon Gold potatoes, Green Mountain or McCafe coffee, and more.
Smoothies. This is the plan. Amazon ads. Ooh.
Gina's Car Corral.
Hey, look, it's Gina.
Come through, come on through. Come join the rodeo.
Well, congrats, sis. You won.
Gain the edge with Amazon ads.
Your First Alert Forecast with meteorologist Kyle Granger.
It's 4:44 on this Wednesday afternoon. Hope you've had a great day. Yes, we're halfway through the work week. Sunshine is with us and will continue to be for the rest of the week. Take a look at downtown Knoxville. What a gorgeous view. And you notice the camera is kind of bouncing around. That's because the winds are up just a little bit, around 10, 15 miles per hour across the board at times. We have seen it closer to 20 at times in Knoxville and down towards Crossville as well. So here's a look at those numbers for you this afternoon. It's a little cool in Crossville at 61, 68 for Oak Ridge to 66 in Knoxville, 67 Pigeon Forge, Washburn's at 66, and Middlesboro checking in at 64. Radar and cloud track shows we're clear across the board here from Knoxville to Atlanta, Memphis, and really we're going to stay pretty calm here over the next couple of days. Now your first alert forecast for the next couple of hours into the overnight hours. While the sun is out, we stay in the 60s. Once that sun says bye-bye, we have 55 and 50s for the rest of the evening and waking up tomorrow morning into the 40s. In fact, some of you could be closer to like 35 for the start of the day on your Thursday. We're at 40 in Knoxville. Patches of frost will be possible. Those winds stir just a little bit, but they calm down as we get closer to morning when we get to our coldest part of the day. Now 49 is where we are for 10 o'clock on Thursday. By 3 o'clock, our high gets to around 67 to 68 degrees for your Thursday afternoon. And then the evening hours, once again, back into the 50s, eventually the 40s, while those stars are moving around and about the sky, be quite chilly. Looking at the forecast where you live for Thursday, a little bit of yellow gets us some warmth here. We're at 68 in Knoxville to 71 Pigeon Forge, 72 Sweetwater, Madisonville, 74 for Etowah, 71 Spring City. How about Crossville checking in at 66 to Wartburg at 64, 67 Jellicoe, 66 in Williamsburg, Dandridge at 69 as well as Newport, and 68, my friends, in Hartford. Now for your Friday, looking ahead, yes, we keep the sunshine, keep clear skies with us, starting off in the 40s once again, and back by the afternoon up into the mid-60s. We're on a little pattern here, but then we break the pattern with the next weather maker and reintroduce the clouds, first of all, for you for parts of the weekend, and then we'll have just isolated raindrops through parts of the day on Sunday. It's the afternoon and evening hours that will add into the mix some more widespread rainfall that's with us, that stays with us overnight Sunday into Monday, brings us a good quarter to half an inch at the times by the time all is said and done for your Monday, when it clears out of here and makes way for just the spotty rain chances we have for Tuesday and Wednesday. But notice we're close to 70 through the weekend, then back into the mid-60s for next week, and overnight lows from the 40s to the 50s.
All right, Kyle, looking good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, a lot of people are scared of these crawling critters, but they aren't really trying to bug you. In this week's Wild Inside, our photojournalist Elizabeth Manning shows us the spiders hanging out at Zoo Knoxville.
So here at Zoo Knoxville, we have 3 different spiders that we put on exhibit. 2 of them are important for identification because they can be harmful, the black widow spider and the brown recluse spider. And we also have a 3rd spider that is native to the area, and it is a false black widow spider. So the black widow spider is very shiny and black. They're also going to have that bright red marking. So it might be on their abdomen. Some species of black widows will also have it on the back of their abdomen. But that's what you're looking for, is the bright red marking of some kind. The false widow is going to be more of a dull brownish kind of a color, and it also has like a cream marking on it. So there are a lot of spiders in the area that look like brown recluses. Pretty much anytime you see a brown spider, people are like, oh my gosh, it's a brown recluse. Most of the time it is not. Brown recluses, they're really good at hiding. You don't really find a web from them. They don't build a web like black widow spiders do. Black widow spiders have that cobwebby kind of web. Brown recluse might have a little bit here and there just to maybe catch some prey, but they're actually active hunters, so they're gonna go out at night. The only way you can really tell it's a brown recluse is looking at the eye structure. They actually have 3 sets of 2 on their eyes, and that is unique compared to any other spider. These guys are important for the ecosystem because they're actually going to help control a lot of the other bugs in the area. And if we got rid of one of these species, then we would have an infestation of maybe a particular bug that those black widows were eating in this area, or the brown recluse were eating in this area. if you're afraid of spiders and you come across one, again, the element of surprise can get most people, but once you catch your breath and just watch it, they're actually really fun to watch. Also remember, you're so much bigger than it. It is probably frozen, like, oh my gosh, what's this giant gonna do to me? But they're, like I said, they're interesting to watch, so I would just stop and watch it, whether they're making their webs or finding prey. They're just so fun to watch.
At Casey's, we're two.
Indiana gonna win, baby! We're in Florida asking people what they put their money on! I'm all in on OKC! Indiana got that dog in them!
Will egg prices go up this month?
I think we'll hit $20. How many hurricanes do you think we'll have this year? Kalshi lets you legally trade on anything, anywhere in the U.S. OKC! Indy! OKC!
Casey's.
There's a new research on antidepressant medications and their side effects. A new study shows that while antidepressants remain highly effective, the physical changes they can cause are significant. Depending on the medication prescribed, researchers found differences of about 9 pounds in weight gain or loss, 11 points in blood pressure, and 21 beats per minute in heart rate. One psychiatrist says untreated depression can lead to significant health risks, so patients should keep an open dialogue with their doctor.
Let's make sure that we have a broad array of lifestyle interventions. And that is so important to me because anytime I make a decision which is very thoughtful, deliberately, intentionally decided with a patient about starting antidepressants, I also say, are you in talk therapy? Have you gotten all your lab work checked at baseline? And can we check that every few months? Are you doing walking, meditation, exercise?
Researchers note that up to 17% of the adult population in North America are prescribed antidepressants, and the rate doctors prescribe the medication has increased since the pandemic. More evidence shows that poor oral health may have a significant impact on cardiovascular health. New research links gum disease and cavities to stroke risk. Jared Hill has more on the latest research.
We know it's important to take care of our teeth and gums and see the dentist for regular checkups and cleanings. Now, 2 new studies published in Neurology Open Access add to growing evidence that keeping your mouth healthy may help keep the brain healthy. The first study found adults with gum disease may be more likely to have signs of damage to the brain's white matter than people without gum disease.
Gum disease is associated with a higher chance of inflammation, and inflammation has been tied to atherosclerosis as well as hardening of the small blood vessels, as we saw in this study.
Dr. Sovik Sen with the University of South Carolina led both studies. The second found having both gum disease and cavities is linked to an 86% increased risk of stroke compared to people with healthy mouths.
What the study suggested was that if you have cavities on top of gum disease, it is double trouble, means your risk of stroke or adverse heart event doubles.
Some good news.
Somebody took care of their mouth, including brushing, flossing, as well as visiting the dentist regularly for their preventative cleaning. Their risk of having a stroke dropped by as much as 81%, which is a very big finding.
With 3.5 billion people worldwide suffering with gum disease or cavities, researchers say prevention and treatment could be an important part of stroke prevention. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Thanks for joining me for WVLT News at 4 o'clock. Casey Wheelis and Ted Hall are taking over the desk at the top of the hour with more on the breaking news at Rocky Top. Stick around with us. Have a great
WVLT News begins now with breaking news.
In my mind, this is not a sad day. It's a proud day. Congratulations to Tony. This is something that's never been accomplished before.
Yeah, he turned Tennessee baseball into a powerhouse. Now he's moving on to the majors, a new career for Vol head coach Tony Vitello. Headed to take over the San Francisco Giants. Danny White saying proud day, not a sad day. Vitello making history. We have complete coverage for you tonight after a massive decision. Glad you're here for WVLT News. At 5 o'clock, I'm Ted Hall.
And I'm Casey Wheelis. Tony Vitello now becomes the first college baseball coach with no prior Major League Baseball coaching experience to take a job in the pros.
A well-deserved promotion for Tony V. Instantly became a fan favorite after turning Tennessee baseball into a powerhouse, winning a national title, securing multiple conference championships, recruiting at an elite level.
Vitello was rumored for the San Francisco job over the past couple of days. Fans packed the porch at Lindsey Nelson Stadium yesterday during a scrimmage in hopes of showing their support to keep Tony on Rocky Top.
We have team coverage for you all across the board tonight. We got Rick Russo, the king of East Tennessee sports, getting major reaction. We got somebody's microphone on that shouldn't be on. We've got our Jared Austin getting fan reaction as well.
And we do want to start with Riley Robinson live on campus tonight. Riley, we heard from athletics director Danny White just a few hours ago. What happens now moving forward?
Yeah, Ted and Casey, you played that soundbite from Danny White just a second ago, and yeah, this is a sad day on campus, but it's also a unique, just great opportunity for Coach Vitello as well. As you mentioned, the first ever coach or college coach to go to the pros, make that jump without any prior pro coaching experience. In just 8 seasons, he has absolutely turned this Tennessee baseball program around. And of course, the questions today to Danny White were, what is next? So Danny White did say that Frank Anderson will take over as interim head coach, but the national search starts right now. And Josh Elander, who has been a name that's been thrown out there, he's the associate head coach under Vitello, stepped in a lot when Vitello was maybe suspended or, was ejected from a game. Elander did step in during those situations. So it got to be a no-brainer, some people were saying, for him to take that spot. But the search is on now, and this is what Danny White had to say about that.
I've asked Frank Anderson to serve as our interim head coach. The terminology I used with Frank is I need a shepherd right now. I need a day-to-day leader. And his response was, not that long ago, I was one of the most fiery baseball coaches in the country, and you're asking me to be a shepherd. I said, Coach, that's exactly what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking Josh Elander to be a candidate. And we are going to conduct a national search and expect a ton of interest because of what Tony and his staff and our fan base and everyone has built here. I think it's an extremely attractive position.
Yeah, it is without a doubt an extremely attractive position. Danny White did add that they have been just already kind of talking about this, already been conducting their search a little bit beforehand. But I will have to say something that really stuck out to me, because these have been rumors that have been flying around for the past few weeks, but now it's been more prominent the past 5 days, is that it took up till this morning for Coach Vitello to make the final decision. This was definitely hard on him. We know how much he loves this Knoxville community, and he loves Tennessee, especially Tennessee baseball. So it was a hard decision for him, but we know that it was made just this morning, guys.
Do appreciate it, Riley. Thanks. Been hanging over Vol fans' heads for quite a while. Let's get to our Rick Russo now. You've been catching up with former players on their reaction to massive news today.
Yeah, no doubt about that. We talked to Jared Dickey, VFL standout, at 4 o'clock. Hard to believe and tough to begrudge a guy for doing what he's doing. But yes, after 8 seasons as head baseball coach, Tony Vitello is moving on to do something, again, that's never been done. Vitello is making the jump from coaching college players to managing big leaguers. Just let that sink in. It really is pretty amazing. And so is what Tony was able to accomplish during his tenure here at Tennessee. His Rocky Top resume is very impressive. Multiple SEC titles, 3 college World Series appearances, and the whole ball of wax in 2024. We'll never forget that. He's also developed some outstanding players along the way. Guys like outfielder Christian Scott, who joined the program in 2019. I spoke with Christian just a short while ago via Zoom.
I was just like, maybe, he'll take it, just weighing the pros and cons of it. But at the end of the day, knowing Coach V, he's going to do what's best for him and his future, but also make sure that the program is left in good hands.
Yeah, no doubt. So tell the folks, what was it like playing for Coach Vitello, being a part of the program? One that, when he first got here, there was a lot of things that need to be answered, a lot of questions, and he started answering those questions. Talk about what it was like being a part of that program with Coach V at the helm.
Yeah, man. So coming into it, I was a part of his first recruiting class. So I got to see this guy put in so many hours, trying to get the program to where it's at now. And looking back at it, he was the only coach there when I got off the bus. And I'm just like, hey, if a guy can put in that much effort and be the first one here to show up, the only one here to show up, to watch a practice, that's somebody I want to play for.
Like Director Danny White talked about the fact there's going to be a national search, but he really wants Josh Elander to be a candidate. Your thoughts on Josh and how you think he would do as the future head coach of Tennessee baseball?
Yeah, me personally, I have my own relationship with Coach Elander, and he's one of the backbones of the program. He's been in it since day one. He knows what it takes to win. He knows what it takes to get back to Omaha. And I think, me speaking, I think he's a great candidate for that job.
And a lot of people do. Again, AD Danny White says a national search will begin, but many of the players like Christian are high on Josh Elander. A leadership panel is being put together right now on the squad, and those guys will no doubt be giving their input to Danny White and all those involved in making this decision. Guys, as I send it back to you, I will say this. There's been a lot of rumors lately about revenue sharing. Now, everybody gets a piece of the pie when it comes to athletics. And there had been some rumors that maybe Coach Vitello was upset that his baseball program wasn't getting enough. Maybe some of that money was getting allocated to Lady Vols basketball and not enough going to Tennessee. Well, it was AD Danny White dispelling those rumors earlier today, saying, in fact, that Kim Caldwell deserves an apology because that is simply not true. And coming up next hour, we will hear from Danny White about just that subject, that topic, as we move forward now, as Tennessee moves on without Tony Vitello. Would have been his 9th season, but now we move forward with a new head coach. And that's it. We're going to send it back to you. But isn't it strange? Tony, who was the driving force behind building that stadium, getting those renovations done, won't be here to see it finished. But I'm sure he's proud about what will be taking place in his absence as he moves on.
All right, Rick, thanks a lot. I guess more proof we probably had the best coach in the country. The Major League sure think so.
Yeah.
All right, Rick, thanks. Well, we do want to get to Jared Austin, and Jared is talking to some fans, getting their reaction. Jared, how are fans taking the news?
It's one of those things that's just a little bit bittersweet. The bitter side of it is Tony Vitello, who built up this program to win national championships and start construction on this stadium here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. He's gone. But the sweet part is he's going to take a high-profile job with the San Francisco Giants. Spoke with a handful of them. They were kind of trying to figure out what was going to be coming over the last 5 days, and then they all got the news, like when we did, that Tony Vitello was officially heading to the Bay Area. But it's just one of those things, too. You saw a lot of fan interaction yesterday at the scrimmage. I was at that scrimmage yesterday. That left field porch was packed with people. And then when people find out the news, it's one of those things of like, you know what? Yeah, it stinks, but he's going to be doing something really, really great. And folks even said that, hey, if he wants to come back to Tennessee, if it doesn't work out in San Francisco, they'd welcome him back with open arms. But some folks, it's still a hard thing to take in.
Pretty heartbroken, but just really proud of him. He's a great coach. Come a long way, obviously, going straight to the MLB, no prior experience. So you can't really be that mad. He's brought a lot to the program already. So obviously, I hope he stayed, but can't be mad at him. He's always going to be a legend here.
I'm mostly shocked with no major experience that he's going straight to the MLB. I don't think it's ever happened before, so pretty surprising that happened now.
Young man, you are right. That is the first time that has ever happened. A college coach going to the MLB to be a manager. So Tony Vitello is making history, made history here on Rocky Top, making history now, going to the major leagues. But it's just one thing, too, when speaking to the fans out here. They're still excited about the future of this program. They feel like they've got good people in-house still. So, guys, we'll see what Danny White does with this coach decision. But folks still very confident that they got a good program here for baseball.
Yeah, whoever it is that takes over, hope you do a really good job. People will love you, but you better do a good job. Jared, thanks a lot.
And this just into our newsroom, the San Francisco Giants putting out a statement saying they are thrilled to welcome Vitello to the Giants family. They say he is one of the brightest, most innovative, and most respected coaches in college baseball. They went on to say that throughout the search, Tony's leadership, competitiveness, and commitment to develop players stood out. You can read the full statement, plus other reaction inside the WVLT News app.
Of course, we'll follow this story for you as more things are announced, and it will be happening. We'll bring it to you on air here on WVLT News and inside our news app.
Well, let's get a look at your first alert forecast. Meteorologist Belle Oliver joining us now. We've had a chilly couple of mornings, but you're first alerting us to even colder weather.
Yeah, we're looking at temperatures back into the low 40s, upper 30s as we look towards Thursday morning, potentially even some frost for a few of you. So we're starting to get pretty cool. Now we're going to continue to see those cool mornings last until about Friday, then slowly building up back to our average around 46 degrees heading towards this weekend. But yeah, tonight, very clear and very chilly, around 40 degrees, but a few of you could get a little bit cooler as well. But mostly clear all across the area this Wednesday. Really nice view across downtown Knoxville. There's been limited cloud coverage today, and we do have a pretty strong westerly flow. And so winds really between 15 to 20 miles per hour. If we see these winds die down, that will aid in some of that frost development. Of course, I'll talk more about this coming up.
All right, thank you very much, Belle. Cott County still feeling the aftermath of the devastation of Hurricane Helene. Whitewater rafting, one of the biggest tourism draws in the county, seeing a drop in visitors as the season now ends.
Our Sade Ray shows what's behind the decline and what's being done about it.
Before the hurricane, the Pigeon River saw nearly 200,000 visitors each season. But this season, the number's down, and outfitters say there's still recovery to do.
And we still had a great season, but it is definitely a lot slower, very noticeable.
Abby Terrell is a raft guide for Smoky Mountain Outdoors in Hartford. She says this season felt different after Hurricane Helene. During busy seasons, guides had 4 trips each day. She says guides had about 2 to 3 trips this year.
A 4 trip would come and you'd be like, oh, I'm not ready for that. We didn't build the stamina like we did my first year.
New data from Cott County clerks shows this season had more than 130,000 visits. Last year, there were more than 170,000 visits before the storm. Daniel Jeanette is the president of Pigeon River Outfitters Association. He says Helene caused major damage to infrastructure, closed a major put-in, and closed parts of the interstate.
We're 8 companies now. We used to be 12. And all 8 companies are just ready to get back to normal.
Jeanette says the put-in is slated to open next year. Rafting is a big economic driver for Cott County. Daryl Barty is the president of Cott County Partnership. He says the drop in visits also mean a drop in tourism tax revenue.
Whitewater rafting is a tremendous asset to Cott County. It brings in a tremendous amount of revenue to a county that is economically distressed.
Barty says the focus now is to remind visitors that rafting is back and the river is safe. Jeanette says the association has been working with an engineer to do a feasibility study for ways to better the river for tourists.
On how they plan to better the river as far as building rapids back, putting a river walk in, a play wave on the river.
Jeanette says he's excited about the feasibility study because it gives another opportunity to improve the river and draw in more visitors to the area. In Hartford, Sade Ray, WVLT News.
We're also getting a raft guide's firsthand account of this season and storm impacts on the river.
That is coming up at 6 o'clock when you join us for WVLT News.
A new program wants to make sure your kids get to and from school safely. Our Lexi Lepoff is joining us now. And Lexi, this is also helping attract more bus drivers to Knox County.
Yeah, Casey, we've told you about a bus driver shortage impacting school districts nationwide. The issue brings challenges you may have dealt with, like unreliable service with longer wait times for drop-off or pickup. Knox County Schools is trying to avoid that with a program to attract and retain high-quality drivers. Transportation U is a bus driver training program created by Knox County Schools. It's an extensive program requiring a minimum of 60 hours of training in a classroom or behind the wheel. The biggest attraction is it's completely free. The safety and training manager for the district says it would usually be a multi-$1,000 training program, incentivizing people to choose Knox County Schools so your kids have reliable drivers.
Also ensure that we have the best quality of driving. If we send them somewhere else, we don't know exactly what's going on. We have some of the most highly trained drivers on the road. Our school bus drivers have more certifications than most other drivers that you'll ever see.
They tell me this program goes far beyond what's required from the federal and state level, making sure drivers are prepared to keep your child safe during the day-to-day and during any emergency situation. Aside from the training itself, there is also a focus on professional development to make drivers more likely to stick around. High turnover rates is one of the biggest challenges year to year for districts. KCS says more well-trained drivers means more reliable and safe transportation for your students.
All important things. Lexi, thanks.
It's been a year now since the death of Savannah Copeland. The 13-year-old girl was killed in Broadacres, that neighborhood in Powell. Copeland went to Powell Middle School. She enjoyed gymnastics and cheerleading, hoped to maybe study forensic anthropology at UT later on. Tonight, Copeland's family is hosting a community day of grace to honor their daughter. It's happening at 6 o'clock at Powell Church. We'll be there. We'll cover the event. Governor Bill Lee signed the Savannah Grace Copeland Act earlier this summer. It provides more money for child advocacy centers across the state. It also increases pay for the people who work in those centers.
Let's get a look at your first alert traffic. We don't have any accidents to tell you about, just some congestion backing up in the typical areas. I-40 west of Alcoa Highway. You're looking right here, I-40 at the I-75-640 split. That's backing up. You can see that right there on our traffic maps, just some of the usual spots slowing down. We'll keep an eye on traffic and check back in about half an hour.
So what are our kids learning in school these days? We're going to show you some East Tennessee second graders maybe getting a head start on being a nuclear.
To be the best is not a climb, but a fall into a black hole. And where others turn back, we begin. Kuyu, here to hunt.
I'm Julia Hurley, broker and owner of Just Homes Group, one of Knoxville's top 100 real estate marketing firms. And you're watching Volunteer Game Day. Fans, here's the game plan. Every home sold with Just Homes Group sends a portion of earnings straight to support your local athlete.
I'm Jaden Prelati.
I'm Isaiah Campbell. I'm Emmanuel Okoye.
And we are counting on your support. Support our athletes. Buy or sell with Just Homes Group. Let's win together. I'm Julia Hurley, broker and owner of Just Homes Group, one of Knoxville's top 100 real estate marketing firms. And you're watching Volunteer Game Day. Fans, here's the game plan. Every home sold with Just Homes Group sends a portion of earnings straight to support your local athlete.
I'm Jaden Prelati.
I'm Isaiah Campbell. I'm Emmanuel Okoye.
And we are counting on your support. Support our athletes. Buy or sell with Just Homes Group. Let's win together.
And now, Your first alert forecast with meteorologist Belle Oliver.
Hope you've all had an amazing Wednesday. We had plenty of sunshine this afternoon, but now we're looking ahead towards tomorrow morning and over the next few mornings as well. Very chilly starts, mostly clear skies, temperatures into the upper 30s and low 40s. And you know it's going to get cold when you see this purple brought out. This is freeze watches for parts of southeastern Kentucky. This goes until Friday morning. So I want to go ahead and say probably bring in those plants or at least cover them up. So what do we need for frost development? Here's my recipe. Clear sky, light winds, and cold morning temperatures in the 30s and the 40s, and that's what we're getting looking towards tomorrow. We'll be into the low 40s here in Knoxville, sitting around 40, and here in Clinton as well, 41 in Kingston, upper 30s towards the Cumberland Plateau, 39 in Crossville and Jamestown, around 43 in Pigeon Forge. And this continues into Friday morning as well. Still low 40s in Knoxville, mid 30s possible towards the Cumberland Plateau and southeastern Kentucky. So that's where that watch is. So really anywhere where we're seeing those 30s, especially those mid 30s Friday morning, is that potential for some frost formation. For right now though, 66 degrees here in Knoxville, beautiful sky. You can see that camera moving too. Strong west winds around 15 miles per hour. There have been a couple gusts up to 20 miles per hour today. Now, if we see these gusts die down looking towards tonight, again, really between that 5 to 10 mile mark, that's going to aid in that frost development. But if it continues to be pretty windy tonight, that kind of limits frost development. And over the next few hours, we'll see temperatures fall back into those middle 50s as that sun is setting. 55 degrees by 8 o'clock tonight, mostly clear conditions, and then gradually getting into those upper 40s looking towards midnight. So perfect to get the jacket if you're heading out tomorrow morning. Looking at the upper 60s for your Thursday, plenty of sunshine, still west northwest flow between 10 and 15 miles per hour for tomorrow afternoon. We'll see into the upper 60s heading towards Thursday into Friday as well. Staying dry by Friday and Saturday. We'll pull in a little bit more cloud cover both of those days, but still any weekend plans look pretty good to go. Rain chances do increase looking towards Sunday night heading into Monday. Then notice next week another front pushes through and we'll be back into the upper 50s heading towards late next week.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, Belle. Happy birthday. We've been telling you about this all week. Well, actually, since 1940s, this is nuclear science country. Well, now it is growing quickly. So they're celebrating Nuclear Science Week all week.
Some East Tennessee schools are starting early to train the next generation of nuclear scientists. Second graders at Linden Elementary in Oak Ridge are learning the curriculum this week. It teaches students the basics of nuclear energy through hands-on STEM experience. Teachers say these kinds of lessons being taught as early as preschool or kindergarten can help shape a group of future scientists or even a future U.S. president.
They begin to look at the world around them and how they process those things. You're having conversations with them all the time about science and technology and every art, math, all of those things combine to make what STEM is, and they need to be aware of that in their world.
Today, the second graders learned about atoms in the nucleus. They also started their paleontology unit.
Good job pronouncing those words that the second graders can get. One of Dollywood's biggest deals is coming back. Who can take advantage of it?
I'm Julia Hurley, broker and owner of Just Homes Group, one of Knoxville's top 100 real estate marketing firms. And you're watching Volunteer Game Day. Fans, here's the game plan. Every home sold with Just Homes Group sends a portion of earnings straight to support your local athlete.
I'm Jaden Prelati.
I'm Isaiah Campbell. I'm Emmanuel Okoye.
And we are counting on your support. Support our athletes. Buy or sell with Just Homes Group. Let's win together.
Well, a heads up, if you live or work in Sevier County, you'll be able to get into Dollywood for just $5.
That's quite a bit of savings, by the way, folks. Sevier County Days come back November 1st. That's just around the corner. Run for 9-10 days, November 9th. During that time, admission for the park will be $5. That money's going to go towards Sevier County nonprofits. You just have to show a valid Sevier County ID or proof of employment. Count on your fingers and see if it's 9 or 10, because the first counts as a day too.
We're continuing to follow that massive breaking news for Rocky Top, something no college baseball coach has ever done. UT head baseball coach Tony Vitello leaving to manage a major league team.
It's 9 days.
You don't have the jacket or the sweatshirt out yet. You're going to need it tomorrow morning. I'm tracking some cool starts. What you need
October 31st.
Following this breaking news for you as Tony Vitello is leaving Rocky Top, headed to become the manager for the San Francisco Giants. Thanks for being here for WVLT News at 5:30. I'm Casey Wheatless.
I'm Ted Hall. Glad you're here. Danny White, the AD, saying it's not a sad day. It's a proud day for UT baseball as Tony heads to the top. First time this has ever happened for a college coach with no prior major league experience to take over a major league team. Here are 3 things you need to know. Pitching coach Frank Anderson will take over as the interim head coach for the time being. Danny White says Anderson has head coaching experience already and wants other guys like Josh Elander, another candidate, to focus on trying to actually get the open job. Vitello's separation pay is $3 million. That's money he owes the team because he's leaving early after he signed the biggest head coaching contract in August of last year. Today, Danny White addressed rumors about baseball money being sent towards women's basketball. A lot of people were talking about the NIL, and maybe that's why Tony wanted to leave. Here's what he had to say about that.
First, I think we'd all should, anybody that's participated, where did that rumor come from? Did anybody report that in here? Not in here. So who reported it? Like somebody had to make up something that's not true for it to become a rumor, right? So I think we should all collectively apologize to Kim Caldwell and our women's basketball program because that's factually incorrect. Never happened. Our rev share numbers are consistent with the House settlement. 5% for women's basketball, 15% for men's basketball, 75% for football, 5% for other. We, with that other bucket, which is $900,000, we distributed $750,000 to our baseball program.
Well, Tony won 341 games as head coach, winning a national title, several conference titles and tournaments, and putting over 50 players in the MLB draft, 10 of those in the first round. He has several of his former players currently on San Francisco's roster, including Drew Gilbert. Under his leadership, the Vols made 3 College World Series appearances in 21, 23, and of course, winning it all in 2024. So as this coaching search begins, you can trust us to stay up to date on the latest from campus, as Danny White is now tasked with finding Tony's replacement. We'll bring you any updates we get inside the WVLT News app and on air.
Big doings for sure on Rocky Top. All right, let's find out more about the weather with the birthday girl, meteorologist Belle Oliver, joining us here, first alerting us to more cold on the way.
Yeah, looking to be a pretty cool start for your Thursday, back into the low 40s and upper 30s are possible. Even some frost possible too. But now dealing with lots of sunshine. We've kept this over the past few days. Very quiet weather pattern, but still a beautiful view over Look Rock across the Great Smoky Mountains. Some of those leaves starting to change color. Many of us into the mid 60s. Notice a mostly clear and sunny sky, and that will continue heading into Thursday as well. Now, as the sun goes down here in about, I don't know, like an hour-ish, we'll see those temperatures fall back into those low 50s, mostly clear conditions continuing overnight. And notice just the trend here, dipping back down into the low 40s, waking up for your Thursday morning. So get the jacket, get the sweatshirt too. Many of us around that 40-degree mark. Some of you could be even cooler. Definitely a crisp and clear start. If we see those winds start to kick up a little bit, that could limit some frost development, but I'll tell you more about that coming up, guys.
All right, Belle, thanks. Let's get a look at your first alert traffic. We're seeing some congestion in some of the normal spots we see around this time of the evening. I-40 west of Alcoa Highway, you're taking a look there. You're seeing some slowdowns. I-40 at the I-75 640 split, that's also slow going. If you take a look, though, at our traffic maps, you can see where those slowdowns are coming in and out of downtown, also on campus. It is moving slow. We've got a disabled vehicle here on the side of the road on I-40 near Cedar Bluff and Pellissippi. That's slowing things down, going both ways, and Pellissippi looks pretty slow too. Kingston Pike near Turkey Creek has got some slowdowns, and then we're taking a look, of course, Fountain City, Broadway, as you head into Halls, always busy there as well. Taking a look now, I-40 west of Cedar Bluff, where that disabled vehicle marker is showing, you're seeing some slowdowns there. Just a lot of cars on the roads as well. Doesn't help with that slowdown. So if we need to check back in with traffic, we will. We'll keep an eye on it for you. New tensions over immigration arrests in major cities.
In New York, protesters took to the streets in Chinatown as ICE tried to round up street vendors they think could be in the country illegally. Here's Tom Hansen.
Agents descended on Canal Street in Chinatown, targeting street vendors allegedly selling designer knockoffs. As protesters made their way to the Federal Plaza to demand the release of ICE detainees, more agents arrived, armed in combat gear and a military vehicle. In Los Angeles, a crowd gathered outside a hospital demanding answers after a driver was shot during what Homeland Security called a targeted traffic stop. The U.S. Attorney's Office says the driver, Carlitos Ricardo Padias, a suspected undocumented immigrant, rammed his car into agents' vehicles during the stop and refused to obey orders. Authorities say that's when a federal agent opened fire, hitting and injuring Padias and a U.S. Marshal. Padias, a TikToker who goes by Richard L.A., is known for documenting immigration enforcement activity in Southern California.
What we know about Richard is he's a very pacifist man. He's very calm.
Richard L.A. was recently recognized for his online posts.
The police officers here know him. They know that he's very respectful. In fact, the city of Los Angeles has awarded him for the work that he does in the community.
Now, Patias has been charged with assaulting a federal officer. He'll appear in a Los Angeles court later today. Meanwhile, here in New York, state and local officials have condemned this operation. I want to read you a statement that Governor Kathy Hochul gave. She said, "You don't make New York safer by attacking New Yorkers." Tom Anson, CBS News, New York.
Vice President J.D. Vance and other U.S. officials are in Israel to monitor the ongoing ceasefire agreement with Hamas. The vice president met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Tel Aviv yesterday. Both said the U.S. and Israel are allies and partners in their efforts in the region. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is expected to return to Israel this week to meet with Netanyahu.
It's been 22 days since the government shut down. Senators expected to vote for a 12th time to reopen the government. Democrats, of course, still pushing for an extension of health care and reversals to Medicaid cuts. Republicans say open the government first and then work out all the details. Today, House Democrats heard from Americans impacted by the shutdown, including national park workers.
The job is to keep the parks safe and open for folks to visit. And during this shutdown, they're still open. And that's a problem because there's not enough staff to keep the park clean and to protect the resource.
Republicans working to pass a bill that would pay certain federal workers in the meantime. Democrats, though, want to pay all federal workers.
The murder trial is underway for former Illinois Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson. He's accused of shooting and killing Sonia Massey at her home last year. Grayson is charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. His attorney claims he acted in self-defense. Prosecutors argue Grayson killed Massey without lawful justification. Experts say it's unlikely Grayson will take the stand.
However, I would note this case is so strong for the prosecution that they may say it's worth it to roll the dice to put him on the stand to try to convince jurors that he had a reasonable fear.
Convicted, Grayson faces 45 years to life in prison.
The iconic Louvre in Paris is back open 3 days after a dramatic jewel heist at the museum. Long lines of visitors filed past the museum's Apollo Gallery. It is still closed as police investigate. Authorities say thieves broke into the Louvre Sunday, making off with about $102 million in jewels, escaping on motorbikes. The robbery is stirring up a lot of emotion in France and beyond.
What we see in movies, it's so difficult, but in reality, it was so easy. It's creepy.
I hope they find the people who did it.
And that they'll melt down the gold.
People who did it are still on the loose. Government minister insists the building security system was working properly at the time of that heist. WNBA players seeing a lot more notoriety and fame. They're going to start seeing bigger paychecks soon as well. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver confirmed the women are going to get an increased share of the league's revenue. WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has said she expects the deal to be wrapped up soon. The WNBA has seen solid increases in value over the past few seasons.
Are you feeling lucky? You could win big in this Friday's Mega Millions drawing. The jackpot currently sits at about $680 million. That's the 9th largest jackpot in its history. Friday's drawing is at 11 o'clock at night.
All right, here we are about, 5 weeks from Thanksgiving. Experts are warning turkey prices won't be something to be thankful for. They're going to be a little higher, about 40% higher from last year. The main reason is the bird flu. There's fewer turkeys. USDA says 195 million turkeys were raised this year. That's down about 3% from last year. The cost for a full Thanksgiving meal last year was about $58 for a meal for 10, cheaper than the year before, but still up nearly 20% from 2020. One expert says there are some ways to save for Thanksgiving.
Make your list early, shop. You can even shop now, right? Yeah. Your turkey you can freeze, your canned veggies you can put in there, your baking goods you can put in your cupboard if you've got room. I also find if you actually start looking for the coupons now, you can get stuff before the holiday rush and you're sort of just throwing everything in the cart at the last second.
Well, some good news. Some of the side dishes, potatoes, butter, canned corn, have stayed about the same price. And if you shop at Walmart or Aldi, they've got entire grocery meal deals they say are the lowest prices on a Thanksgiving meal in years.
Every Wednesday, we're showcasing job opportunities in East Tennessee. Tomorrow, you can learn about careers in behavioral health and human services. The McNabb Center hosting a drop-in hiring event at their location at the Knox County Administration Building. It's from 9 until 1. You can speak directly with hiring managers, program staff about the roles serving Knox, Anderson, and Blount counties. You are encouraged to bring a resume. No RSVPs needed. Be ready for some on-site interviews. You can learn more about this event. Just scan this QR code on your screen. You can also submit a request to feature positions at your business on our air. Whether you're looking for a new job or you're hoping to find the right person for your company, WVLT News has you covered.
How many times did some of you take your kids to stores like that just to get some ideas of what they want for Christmas? Well, it's trying to make a comeback this year.
Plus, a Sunday morning ride to church took an unexpected turn for one woman. We'll show you.
Going to be a cold start for your Thursday morning. Heading out, have the rest of the details on the forecast coming up.
It's not just about the scoreboard. It's about the stories we'll tell for years to come. The drives that bring us together in anticipation. The rides home after a big orange victory. During the drive into fall events, Jerry's got new Jeep Rubicon starting at $367 a month. Also, 0% financing available on select models. The premier family of dealers are proud to be a part of your game day tradition.
I was coming home and a lady hit me head on. It totaled my car. It fractured my right heel and it bruised me up really badly. The Garza Law Firm, they were very compassionate, but yet they were very detailed. They didn't let me down. They never stopped fighting. It helped me regain confidence in law firms. I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
I had a very complicating civil rights case. In 2018, I was assaulted. Other law firms that I had contacted, they were denying my request, but Garza Law Firm represented me. They even had private investigators flown all the way to where I lived at in Michigan to sit down and speak with me. I feel like the time they set aside for me is more meaningful than any dollar sign that I could receive.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
My name is Turner Howard. I'm an attorney in Knoxville, Tennessee. I've had my own firm now for 25 years. As an attorney wanting to transfer our firm to another firm, Marcos Garza stood out by far the best.
I just like people that want to do the right thing. I couldn't be happier to have the Garza Law Firm take over the G3 Law Firm. It's a very good feeling.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
It's not just about the scoreboard. It's about the stories we'll tell for years to come. The drives that bring us together in anticipation. The rides home after a big orange victory. During the drive into fall events, Jerry's got new Jeep Rubicon starting at $367 a month. Also, 0% financing available on select models. The premier family of dealers are proud to be a part of your game day tradition.
I was coming home and a lady hit me head on. It totaled my car. It fractured my right heel and it bruised me up really badly. The Garza Law Firm, they were very compassionate, but yet they were very detailed. They didn't let me down. They never stopped fighting. It helped me regain confidence in law firms. I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
A former Texas law officer started a unique dog rescue.
Not only does he pull shelter dogs, he's got a job for them to do. Here's Claire Everback.
Wes Keeling is the founder and president of Sector K9, a Texas nonprofit organization that rescues dogs from kill shelters.
I was a law enforcement officer for 20 years, and I saw the pandemic of shelter dogs. There was so many dogs getting put down, and I wanted to do something different and wanted to do something to help.
Not only do they save these dogs' lives, but they train them to assist law enforcement with narcotic detection and tracking.
What we do is we train them in cocaine, methamphetamine, and heroin. And basically they're trained to go around cars, article searches, in rooms and sniff them out.
One of the dogs that came out of Sector K9 is Jax, a 2-year-old pit bull mix being trained for narcotics. Jax was adopted by Officer Troy Leonard with the Cedarville Police Department.
Here in our department, we actually
utilize them for searching vehicles, like on narcotics, for methamphetamines, heroin. We also utilize him in schools. He can do locker searches and stuff like that.
Leonard says Jax's duties will go beyond drug searches. He'll be a friendly face for the whole community.
He's going to be one of those ones that we can take out to the schools, we can take out to events, and he's going to be people friendly and everything else.
In just a month, Leonard says he relies on his partner.
I trust that dog 100%, and he's not going to steer me wrong.
And says this is what stood out to him about Jax from the start.
He is also one of those dogs that you can just tell is 100% loyal to a fault. Like, he is going to be by your side no matter what, and that's all he cares about.
Toys R Us, they're coming back ahead of the holiday season. The company announced it's going to open more than 30 new stores across the U.S., 8 permanent flagship stores, more than 20 seasonal shops temporary. Toys R Us closed more than 700 buildings after filing for bankruptcy in 2017, 2018, but now trying to come back with stores. Some elementary school students in Iowa starting fall with some new kicks. Local credit union gave every student at the school a brand new pair of shoes and socks. They say good fitting shoes improves self-esteem, and it actually improves attendance for the kids.
Have you ever tried to poke a straw in a Capri Sun drink bag? It's hard. It's not always easy. Now Capri Sun is teaming up with customers for a Halloween prank. So special Capri Sun prank pouches cannot be punctured with a straw. Oh, this would make me so frustrated. That's why some say it's the ultimate Halloween prank. The trick or treat pouches are only available at walmart.com. They drop every day at noon. The cost is $2.99 and they're only available while supplies last. You buy one, you'll get extra straws for lots of pranking. I always pushed it through the end and then it was leaking. It was always a mess. Well, a Michigan woman who won $100,000 from the Powerball says she got her winning numbers from ChatGPT. Tammy Carvey asked ChatGPT for a set of Powerball numbers, played them in the September 6th drawing. When she checked her ticket, she saw 4 of her numbers in the Powerball matched. She was in total disbelief. She plans to pay off her mortgage with the winnings.
Well, Sam Adams is selling this year's barrel-aged extreme beer. It's called Utopia, extreme alcohol and extreme price. 30% alcohol, which from my calculations is like 60 proof, right? The brewer says it makes it one of the strongest beers ever. That level makes it illegal to sell in 15 states. The brewer says the biggest challenge in beer with so much alcohol is taste. How much does it cost? You want a beer? $240.
And now, your first alert forecast with meteorologist Belle Oliver.
Well, it's been a pretty breezy Wednesday with lots of sunshine. Now all eyes are looking towards tomorrow morning as we wake up to temperatures once again back into the upper 30s and low 40s. A pretty chilly start, and we're going to have clear skies, and that's really going to enhance some of that cooling. Still under that influence of higher pressure. We had our front pass yesterday. Now that's building in, and that really helps to limit our cloud cover. And clouds act as a blanket for the atmosphere at night, and so without the clouds, our temperatures they drop. And even a few of our counties under that freeze watch, you know it's going to get cold when you see some purple on the map there. That's until 9 a.m. Friday morning. Again, that's for any of those temperatures that could get down into those low 30s and possibly upper 20s as we look towards tonight and into Friday morning as well. So this is where we'll be Thursday. Many of us low 40s, upper 30s area wide, 39 towards Jamestown, Crossville, up to Monticello, 40 here in Knoxville, 41 in Morristown, 39 in Rutledge and Middlesboro. Especially where we see those 30s and those higher elevations, we could see some frost as well. Friday, still another cool shot of air. Mid 30s are possible Friday morning, 35 degrees in Oneida, 39 in Kingston, 40 degrees in Madisonville and Maryville and Knoxville, and 38 in Rutledge, 35 in Middlesboro. Yeah, it's going to be pretty chilly over the next few days, so make sure to grab that jacket as you're heading out early in the morning for Thursday. We'll start off with lots of sunshine, taking the kiddos off to school tomorrow, sitting around 40, pretty chilly, but yeah, it's going to be cold. That's just the forecast for today. But right now, lots of sunshine across Gatlinburg on our Ober camera. Again, we've kept lots of sunshine over the past few days. We'll still see those temperatures into the low 50s. If you have any Wednesday night plans, around 52 degrees for that 9 o'clock hour. Mostly clear conditions. Temperatures, they're dropping into those low 40s overnight. Now for your Thursday, we'll still keep lots of sunshine. Could be a bit breezy at times too, just like today. Still, we're seeing those west-northwest winds around 10 to 15 miles per hour. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple gusts up to 20, possibly 25. 68 in Knoxville for your Thursday afternoon, 71 towards Pigeon Forge and Kingston, a warm 73 in Athens, and a mild 66 in Crossville, and 64 in Jamestown for Thursday afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. For tomorrow, we'll build in a few more clouds looking towards Friday afternoon into Friday night. We're looking dry Friday and Saturday, which is really good. 67 for Friday afternoon. If you have any of those Friday night plans, still looking good for those. Friday night football, of course, that's on Friday too. And then we'll see those rain chances slowly return heading into the later half of the weekend. I'm thinking Sunday night into Monday. Of course, we'll keep you updated on our free WVLT First Alert Weather app and, of course, on our air.
All right, Belle, thanks. Well, a woman was on her way to church when her eagle eye spotted something in the opposite lane.
A few miles later, she realized she had a new wingman. Here's Matt Henson.
This is the bald eagle flapping its wings from the grill of Cindy's pickup truck.
And here that dang bird is hanging on the front of the truck, still alive.
An hour earlier, Cindy was about 4 miles outside of Lake Bronson when she encountered the national emblem enjoying breakfast in the other lane of the highway.
And I slowed way down, and then all of a sudden it just flew up and flew in front of the truck, and then I didn't see it no more, and I looked in my mirrors and I didn't see it on the road or anything.
She heard a thump. That's why when she got to town, she checked the front of her pickup. Cindy was careful not to ruffle its feathers.
Very beautiful, but just hanging there and moving its head from side to side, looking at me, and I was like, oh, I better not get too close to that thing because it had quite the beak, and I knew it would hurt you if you got close to it, so I stayed back. And
the bald eagle's feet were stuck in the grill of the truck. About an hour later, a DNR officer arrived and was able to rescue the bald eagle from the grill of the pickup. And once again, the bird had its independence.
I wish I knew what was going through that bird's mind. That must have been quite the experience for it.
Not the experience you probably want. All right, top stories coming up at 6 o'clock here on WVLT News, including the breaking news, Tony Vitello leaving Tennessee for the major leagues.
Here's what else our team's working on today.
It's been a slow rafting season for Hartford after Hurricane Helene. Coming up on WVLT News at 6, what guides are seeing firsthand on the river and what Cott County is doing to bring visitors back.
My name is Turner Howard. I'm an attorney in Knoxville, Tennessee. I've had my own firm now for 25 years. As an attorney wanting to transfer our firm to another firm, Marcos Garza stood out by far the best.
I just like people that want to do the right thing. I couldn't be happier to have the Garza Law Firm take over the G3 Law Firm. It's a very good feeling.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Details.
Here in East Tennessee, a popular campground was basically overrun by vegetation, needed a trimming.
As Dave Malkoff reports, the search for a landscaper led to the greatest of all time.
We are in beautiful downtown Chattanooga on the Tennessee River. We're about to go on to McClellan Island.
For locals, beautiful McClellan Island is just a canoe ride away, but there's a problem. It's overgrown with invasive plants. The Audubon Society has tried to cut down honeysuckle and English ivy, but it grew back. The fire department tried to burn the waxy leaves last year, but they just smoldered.
The fire chief recommended that we get goats.
Goat lady Christina Herndon, who runs a nearby petting zoo, found the crew.
Yep, that's Gimli, Alora, Glenn, and Dixie.
These workers never take a lunch break. Their entire day is lunch. 4 goats on the island will eat anything, even poison ivy in this penned-off acre. To get a better look, we strapped a camera, let's call it a Goat Pro, on Gimli.
It's a win-win.
And locals have already noticed the difference.
What's the difference between the island when you were younger and the island today? Does it look the same?
It looks a lot more tame. It really does, yes.
Tamed by a wild crew with sharp horns and iron stomachs. Dave Malkoff, CBS News, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
WVLT News begins now with breaking news.
In my mind, this is not a sad day. It's a proud day. Congratulations to Tony. This is something that's never been accomplished before.
Yeah, he turned Tennessee baseball into a national champion. Now he's moving on to the big leagues. Tony V headed west to take over the San Francisco Giants.
A well-deserved promotion for Tony Vitello, who instantly became a fan favorite, turning Tennessee into a major powerhouse program, winning that national title, multiple conference championships, and recruiting at a very high level.
We do have complete coverage for you tonight after a massive decision. Good evening. Glad you're here for WVLT News at 6 o'clock. I'm Ted Hall.
And I'm Casey Wheelis. Tony Vitello now becomes the first college baseball coach with no prior Major League Baseball coaching experience to take a job in the pros.
Vitello, rumored for the San Francisco job heavily over the last couple of days. Here's some video we shot of him at Lindsey Nelson Stadium yesterday as the Base Vols held a scrimmage.
Fans packed the porch at Lindsey Nelson Stadium yesterday, showing their support, hoping to keep Tony around on Rocky Top.
We've got team coverage for you. We're going to start with the king of East Tennessee sports, Rick Russo. We're hearing from UT fans, from folks there, from a lot of Vol fans too.
Yeah, this is really interesting and unprecedented, no doubt about that. At this level, as a coach, you're developing players, right? At the next level, these are grown men. You're just trying to get them from point A to point B. Going to be interesting to see how Tony adapts to that, how successful he is. We, of course, wish him all the best. And it's tough to begrudge a guy for doing what he's doing. But yes, after 8 seasons as head coach, Coach Vitello is moving on. Again, something that's never been done. He is making the jump from coaching these college players to managing big leaguers. It really is pretty amazing when you think about it. So what Tony was able to accomplish during his tenure here at Tennessee was very impressive. There's no doubt about that. Multiple SEC titles, 3 College World Series appearances, and then, of course, winning it all in the summer of 2024, something we all will never forget. He's also developed some outstanding players along the way. We've talked to a couple of them today. We're going to hear from Jared Dickey coming up later on in sports. But right now, the guy who's had a front seat to all of this during Tony's tenure here at Tennessee. How about your voice of the baseball Vols, Mr. John Wilkerson?
Well, everybody's got the decision, and now everybody can move forward. From the Tennessee perspective, it's the end of an unprecedented era. To just see, I mean, we saw with Rod Delmonico what was capable, and then we saw almost the impossible accomplished by Tony. The program's first ever ranking as the #1 team in the nation, winning your first SEC Eastern Division championship since 1997, first trip to the College World Series since 2005. I mean, it was just really amazing to watch him build this program.
AD Danny White saying that Frank Anderson's going to take over as interim coach. Josh Elander is a candidate, but the national search is on. Anderson, what do you know about him? Danny White said he wants him to be a shepherd for this program.
Well, the great thing is, you look at the continuity of the staff. Frank's been here every step along the way. So has Josh. And I really appreciated the way that Danny put it, and that was he wants Josh to be able to focus on his interview because he doesn't want that to be an afterthought. He puts a lot of stock in that, and I do think that he's got a wonderful candidate on his staff in Josh Elander. I mean, not only has he been here every step of the way, but he's also been so instrumental in the team's success, especially what they do on offense.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And Coach Elander has also been instrumental in helping bring a lot of this terrific talent to Tennessee. They're every step of the way, making Rocky Top and fall baseball very appealing to those prospective prospects. Coming up later in sports, again, some comments from VFL standout Jared Dickey, who stopped by our studio earlier today. And we'll hear from our media partners at volquest.com. A new era, guys, for Tennessee baseball beginning this coming spring.
All right, Rick, thanks. And we do want to send things out to our Riley Robinson, who's live on campus tonight. And Riley, we heard from Athletics Director Danny White earlier today.
Yeah, we did. We heard a lot of great things from Danny White. One thing that really stuck out to me that I said earlier at 5 o'clock was Danny said the decision for Tony was made this morning. It's been basically Tony watch, as people have called it the past 5 days, as these rumors have been circulating. But another rumor that was circulating online was a rumor around NIL and revenue sharing. Somewhere, someone made up that Danny White was giving more to the Lady Vols basketball program rather than the baseball program here, and he addressed those rumors today during the press conference.
So I think we should all collectively apologize to Kim Caldwell and our women's basketball program because that's factually incorrect. Never happened. Our rev share numbers are consistent with the House settlement. 5% for women's basketball, 15% for men's basketball, 75% for football, 5% for other. We, with that other bucket, which is $900,000, we distributed $750,000 to our baseball program, and we do more with rev share and with NIL packages for baseball on top of their rev share. So I know what the competitive space is in the SEC and across the country. I know our baseball program is extremely well equipped. Otherwise, we wouldn't be recruiting at the level we are.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Tennessee baseball has been recruiting at a very high level over the past few years. And that's another question Tony was asked about. How are you going to keep these new recruits here, these transfers here, the players here in general? Well, something we do know that if they are a player here, if you're not a graduate transfer and you are here right now and you decide to transfer, you cannot play this upcoming season at another university. You are only able to play here at the University of Tennessee, so they would have to sit out a season. But Danny did say that he is going to speak with the team today, and with this transition period like they are going through right now, he's going to just encourage them to not transfer, encourage them to stay as the nationwide search for a new head coach here at Tennessee is still ongoing. Back to you, Ted and Casey.
The hope is they're happy with whoever the next choice is, and Vol fans too. Appreciate it, Riley. Let's get. You spoke to a lot of Tennessee fans about their reaction. Why can't we keep nice things around here? That's kind of what Vol fans are thinking.
You know, Ted, it absolutely is, because Tony Vitello is doing such a great job with this program, building it from the ground up, essentially winning that national championship in the 2024 season. And it's like, by the way, MLB's calling. They want him now. It's like, oh, well, we just had this great coach, just won us this, and now we got to start from essentially square one again. We still got a good program here, according to Danny White and fans I spoke with. The fans, it's a bittersweet thing right now. It's bitter, yes, to see Tony Vitello leaving to go to the major leagues, but it's such a great accomplishment for him in their eyes. They see this as a huge step for him, making history, being the first coach to go from the college ranks directly to the MLB. Just also talking with them about this as well. They're just, excited to see him going forward, but they're also excited to see what this program is already bringing back. They saw the #1 recruiting class this year. They're excited about the guys. They're excited about guys they have in-house with Frank Anderson and Josh Elander as coaches. But one thing that a fan brought up that is very interesting, why did this have to happen with the California team again?
First we got Nico leaving for California, now we got Tony. All things considered, they're taking all our guys to California. I don't know what it is. He's going to be making less there. He really was like the father of Tennessee baseball. The whole campus loved him. I thought he was a VFL, but I guess not. It's kind of disappointing to see.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I think it's huge for him, but I'm definitely upset that he's gone. We've got baseball players hitting balls into our backyards every day, so maybe the new coach will fix that issue.
Yeah, when I was out there as well, they were hitting balls at batting practice as we had just heard the announcement that Tony Vitello is leaving Rocky Top. Guys, still a lot to go from here. Yes, Tony Vitello is gone. We still got to figure out who's going to be the next coach. Got to see what this team looks like, so much more coming for this season still.
All right, Jerry, thanks a lot. Folks might just be excited about whoever takes over this program. Thank you.
It's definitely been chilly out there the last couple of mornings, but we could even see some frost in some parts. We've got First Alert meteorologist Belle Oliver breaking it down for us. And Belle, bundle up, I guess, is the message.
Yeah, gonna need the jacket heading out tomorrow morning and into Friday as well. Back into the low 40s. Some of you may even be into the upper 30s Thursday morning and Friday morning as well. We're well below our average. Our average this time of year around 46 degrees, and we'll slowly get back to that point looking towards next week as we look towards Monday and into the weekend as well. But we could see some patchy frost, especially towards those higher elevations too. But still keeping a lot of sunshine out there for your Wednesday. It was a really beautiful day, sitting around 65. You can see that camera starting to move to strong west winds coming around 14 to 15 miles per hour. Could be a couple gusts up to 20. We'll see those winds die down tonight over the next few hours. 57 for that 8 o'clock hour if you have any of your Wednesday night plans. Back into the low 50s as soon as we hit 10 p.m. and then staying nice and clear, and we're going to see those temperatures quickly drop into those mid 40s and low 40s waking up for Thursday. Gonna need the jacket if you're heading out, taking the kiddos off to school tomorrow. A chilly start, but at least we'll have lots of sunshine on Thursday. Temperatures back up into the upper 60s and low 70s, but I'll have more on that chilly start and that potential for some frost coming up.
Thank you. Appreciate it. There's a boil water notice in effect tonight for some neighborhoods in Loudon. It's because the Loudon Utilities Board calls a large water main break in the system happened. It could lead to things getting into people's drinking water that could make them sick. Here's a look at what we're talking about. The blue circle in the middle of your screen. Of course, that's not real easy to read, so we'll just give you a couple of ideas. If you live in places like Butler Drive, Huffs Ferry Road, Misty View Drive, River's Edge Drive, Riverview Golf Drive, West Shore Drive, you need to boil your water before you drink it. Using it to get food ready or washing dishes or brushing teeth, boil it first. They say you don't need to boil water to shower, but don't swallow any of it. The advisory is in effect until at least 4:30 tomorrow afternoon.
A fugitive is now in custody following an assault on a Scott County Sheriff's deputy. U.S. Marshals took Holden Sexton into custody near a home on Matthews Road in Oneida. He was wanted for an assault last month on a Scott County deputy, with an additional arrest warrant out for him from Anderson County. Investigators found him at the house. They say he ran and tried to attack a canine with a knife, but missed. He's now facing a wide range of charges tonight. And everyone's safe following an evacuation at Cedar Bluff Elementary this morning.
Knox County Schools tell us the evacuation came because of a verbal threat in the school. The building was cleared, with Knox County Sheriff's Office responding. The school system says the evacuation is just a precaution and everything is back to normal now. Knox County Schools making sure your kids get to and from class safely.
They say it's attracting more drivers, bus drivers, to the county, so your kids always have a reliable ride. Our Lexi Lepoff is joining us now. Lexi, they're telling you that this is addressing staffing issues.
Yeah, Casey and Ted, districts nationwide are facing bus driver shortages, and the issue brings challenges you may have dealt with, like unreliable service with longer wait times for drop-off or pickup. Now Knox County Schools is trying to avoid that with a program to attract and retain high-quality drivers. A Knox County Schools program is helping get more people trained up to get behind the wheel, so your student always has a safe ride to school.
A lot of times a school bus driver is one of the very first contacts they have during the day.
Bus driver shortages hitting districts nationwide are making it hard to hire drivers. That's why KCS created Transportation U, a completely free training making the daunting process of getting certified more accessible.
We have some of the most highly trained drivers on the road. Our school bus drivers have more certifications than most other drivers that you'll ever see.
The program makes the district more competitive to attract quality drivers, like student Deborah Zarate, who is in her second week of the program. She says being a bus driver is more than just getting behind the wheel.
You know, you don't know what they're going through, you know, during like their day or, you know, back at home, but being that positive, you know, figure for them is really great.
Aside from the at least 60 hours of training in a classroom or on the road, there's a focus on professional development, making it more likely drivers will stick around. High turnover rates is one of the biggest challenges year to year for districts.
This is constantly building up their skills, giving them new knowledge, giving them new areas to work on, new areas to improve.
All right, Lexi, the program goes beyond what is required, right?
Yes, this course goes further than what's required at the state and federal level so that the drivers can be prepared to keep your child safe in any situation.
And Lexi, it is your last day here at WVLT. We just want to say thank you for all your hard work, and we're going to miss you so much.
Thank you so much. Casey and Ted, you guys have been great mentors to me, and this community has meant so much to me, so thank you to everyone.
Just like Tennessee baseball discovered, you can't keep the good ones around very long. Someone bigger and better always wants them. Good luck. Hope you do really well and enjoy it.
Thank you.
Well, the rafting season in Hartford ending with a drop of visitors. There's still lasting impacts from Hurricane Helene.
Sade Ray shows us what one raft guide went through this season and what the county is doing to try to bring more people back.
A rafting guide tells me this season felt slower than the other ones she's worked. People still enjoy the river, but she's hoping more people come out next season. New data from the Cott County Clerk says there was a drop in visitors for whitewater rafting this year. Data shows this season lost more than 40,000 visitors compared to last year. Outfitters say it's a big drop looking at the yearly average of nearly 200,000 visitors. Raft guide Abby Terrell says there's several reasons why people didn't come out to the river.
And so I do think a lot of people steered away from rafting this year, whether it was because they thought that it was closed or they were scared about the floods.
She says some people were worried about the river being changed from the storm, but she says guides mapped out the river before the season started, so there's no need to worry. The original put-in is also slated to open next year, which will help outfitters regain a mile of the river. Terrell says rafting isn't just back, it never left. She wants visitors to come out to show love to Hartford and Cott County. In Hartford, Sade Ray, WVLT News.
President of the group in charge, the Pigeon River Outfitters Association, says the big issue is to make sure people know they are open for rafting fun.
He says the association is also working with an engineer to study ways to make the river even better, like rebuilding the rapids or installing a river walk.
Coming up on WVLT News, we are following tonight's breaking news. Tony Vitello leaving for the major leagues, making history.
A cold start to your Thursday morning, back into the 40s and 30s, even some frost potential. Walk it through.
your first alert forecast with meteorologist Belle Oliver.
Well, fall is in full swing with those mild afternoons and some chilly mornings. And speaking of those mornings, we have two of them on tap, Thursday and Friday. We're talking temperatures back into the upper 30s and some of us into the low 40s. Even a few of our counties under a freeze watch until Friday morning at 9 a.m. This is mostly for our Kentucky counties up there. And those are for any of those temperatures into the low 30s possible and potentially even into the upper 20s. So what do we need for frost, and when do we usually see that? You usually see it in right on track, October 24th, today's 22nd. Well, we need clear skies, we need some light winds, and some really cold morning temperatures in the 30s and 40s, and we're going to have all three of those for tonight. So low 40 here in Knoxville, sitting around 40 degrees Thursday, 7 a.m., 39 in La Follette to Oneida, 40 in Kingston, into those low to mid 40s across the mountain foothills, 43 in Pigeon Forge, and 39 degrees in Madisonville. Very chilly on Thursday. We'll rinse and repeat, and we could be even a little bit cooler Friday morning. Again, low 40s, could see some mid 30s in some spots, especially towards those higher elevations across the Cumberland Plateau. 36 in Jamestown, 35 Oneida, around 40 in Morristown and Knoxville, and 41 in Loudon Friday morning. So grab the sweatshirt, the jacket early on into the morning. You guys are going to be needing it. But still, lots of sunshine for today. Around 65 degrees right now. Downtown Knoxville looking beautiful. We have kept very limited cloud cover today, but it's been a bit breezy too. Winds still coming from the west, around 10 to 15 miles per hour. And we'll see those winds continue to die down tonight, really between 5 to 10 miles per hour as we look towards the overnight hours. So a light, pretty calm wind. But yeah, that main story is going to be some of that cooler air. 40 for tonight, very clear and very chilly. As we look towards Thursday, we'll still have plenty of sunshine heading into the afternoon. It'll be a pretty mild afternoon too. Temperatures everywhere into the upper 60s and low 70s, and winds still coming from that west northwest, around 10 to 15 miles per hour. 70 degrees in Pigeon Forge for your Thursday afternoon, around 68 here in Knoxville and La Follette, 67 towards Morristown and Greenville, and 72 in Athens. A plentiful sunshine for your Thursday, and that'll continue as we go to Friday as well. Low 70s towards Sweetwater, Madisonville, Tellico Plains, into those 60s across the Cumberland Plateau. Same thing goes for southeastern Kentucky, and then a little bit into those upper 60s towards the mountains and Pigeon Forge as well. So mostly sunny for the rest of today, heading into Thursday. A little bit more cloud cover looking towards Friday afternoon into the evening. Now the good news is those rain chances will remain limited Friday night. So any of those plans for some high school football, still looking pretty good and dry. It'll be pretty cool too. As we look towards the weekend, mostly dry, but rain chances increase looking towards next week.
Well, thank you again. Happy birthday to you. Let's get to Rick Russo now. Massive news. Tony Vitello heading to the big leagues to take over the Giants.
Yeah, no doubt, Ted. Through the years, we've always heard that Coach V is absolutely a player's coach, getting the most of his guys, which produced a ton of success on the baseball field, including that national title. He is now headed to San Francisco, but he's leaving behind a lot of memories here on Rocky Top. I caught up with VFL Jared Dickey earlier today and asked him about some of those memories and who he wants to see lead the Volunteers moving forward.
First year here to my last year here, you could really tell a difference on just what Tony's built. I remember, I think it was the first series that I ever saw was in 2018. It was after I had committed and they were playing Maryland. It was opening day. Yeah. And I looked around and there was nobody in the stands. And now you go to a game and you look in the stands and the entire place is full. So he's just built a culture here that's very special.
Your thoughts on Coach Elander? I got a feeling you'd love to see him ascended to that position.
Absolutely right. I mean, he's been the glue over to that program. He's an extremely good recruiter and just an even better person, honestly. He just helps the hitters in every aspect, and he just does really good things. So I think if he gets the opportunity, he's gonna take it and run with it.
I think the sky's the limit still for this Tennessee baseball program, right?
Absolutely. Tennessee's going to be on the map in baseball for the rest of its lifetime, I'd say.
Jared Dickey easing some tensions. A lot of folks worried that things are going to fall apart now. He says no way. Great to see him. We also talked with VFL Christian Scott today. We also have had a chance to check in with our partners at VolQuest.com. Here's our John Sartori.
When construction started on Lindsey Nelson Stadium behind us, Tony Vitello was the head coach of Tennessee baseball. He no longer is, as that construction continues, and now construction begins on a new era for the Volunteers. Tony Vitello, now the manager of the San Francisco Giants. And where do the Vols go from here, Eric Kane from VolQuest.com?
Yeah, first and foremost, congratulations to him. What an unprecedented move, and he's earned every bit of it. I'm excited to see what he can do there. Again, this has never been done in the history of Major League Baseball.
History of baseball.
Yeah, it's incredible. So good luck to Tony. Now for Tennessee, we'll see the direction that this administration wants to go in. It's odd timing, John. I mean, obviously the coaching carousel is in May and June, not in mid to late October. Okay, you've got the spring semester right around the corner. They're in fall ball right now. Internal options, obviously, you start with Josh Elander. You got pitching coach Frank Anderson. Both those guys have been on staff with Vitello for 8 years. Frank Anderson's been a head coach before. Josh Elander's kind of been his right-hand man, and has been the one that stepped in when Vitello has not been able to coach some games in years past. So both those guys, great options. Will this administration want to go outside and open things up? It's obviously a very attractive position. Look behind us at the stadium. But I do think that if you wanted to stay in-house continuity-wise, man, can't do much better than Josh Elander.
Josh Elander has been up for head coaching jobs. He stayed at Tennessee, and now it seems is the front runner to be the next head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers. For Eric Kane, I'm John Sartori for WVLT Sports.
Thank you, gentlemen. Folks, we have much more coverage on the Tennessee baseball situation and Coach Vitello's departure online inside the WVLT News app. We'll also have more at 11 o'clock, including our WVLT Sports 5-Star Preps High School Football Player of the Week. That's coming up later. WVLT News at 6, though, returns after this timeout.
If history has taught us anything, it's not to root against the underdog.
The British are coming!
It pays to know what's coming.
Check the group chat!
Every great leap began with a bold first step, and there's no shortage of second chances. Against impossible odds, you don't stand down. You swing first. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
All right, birthday girl, it's going to get chilly.
Yeah, we're looking at the low 40s as we wake up tomorrow morning. Some of you into the upper 30s, but by Thursday afternoon, plenty of sun. Temperatures back into the upper 60s before rain returns heading towards next week.
All right, Belle, thank you. And thank you at home for joining us for WVLT News at 6.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. We'll see what we have new on Tony tonight at 10.